Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the grand final of the $10,000 Rivalcade Overwatch Rumble. It is finally time for us to see who is the champion in North American online events. Is it EnVyUs? Is it Rogue? I'm back with Storm. How you doing today, Storm?
Doing pretty good, man. After a much-needed break, had the opportunity to watch some pretty good matches with you and Jorosar, and looking forward to seeing our final here. Best of 5, and then best of 3 if that one goes in favor of Envy.
And we'll get all the sellout stuff out of the way so we can just enjoy these games. Thanks to DX Racer and thanks to Razer for being the sponsors for this event. As we are headed into the grand final now, it's been a great bunch of games all the way back to Tuesday's qualifiers. We had some excellent play in the group stages yesterday with a couple of upsets, Splice over Liquid being the one that rings clearest in my mind. But today we've had also some crazy games. Cloud9 really showing up against Selfless, only to fall a little bit later on to LG Evil. We've had Rogue actually dispatching EnVyUs earlier in this very playoff 2-0. So Rogue sitting comfortably here, still unbeaten this year in online events. EnVyUs are here to try to rip that streak away from them and take the $6,000 first prize. Second place will get $3,000, and third place, that's Selfless, taking home $1,000.
And you know, Rogue coming into this one only having dropped a map. They dropped the map to Rise Nation yesterday. And, you know, today, I mean, they've had a long break, Joshy. They've been waiting for hours to play. Envy coming off of a hard-fought victory against Selfless, and then having played 3 more matches before that. So I think coming into this, Rogue going to be very well-rested and, you know, amped to finish out this tournament, trying to get that first place.
Well, we can see the compositions here as the doors open. It's going to be Rogue's Dive, tried and true. They've picked Gibraltar literally every series that they've played here in the tournament, and they've won every single time. So don't break it if it ain't fixed, or vice versa. Whichever it is, we've got defense here. EnVyUs actually running a triple tank plus soldier, but Mickey on the flex tank, so to speak, is going to be running the Winston rather than a Diva or Zarya this time around.
Well, it looks like Nico's actually going back. Nope, he was looking to make a change. Isn't going to be the case. These guys actually played this map earlier in their best of 3 in the winners finals, and Rogue took this one pretty easily, to say the least. They both finished out the map, but Rogue on the second push around got nearly to the 3rd checkpoint. But already we see Nox looking for some pressure into the back line here, and that payload's actually still moving. Needs some contestation here to come out from Envy to move forward.
Well, no kills just yet. Coco is actually the first one melted down by AKM, and he gets a double kill onto Harry Hook. So EnVyUs' defense starting to falter a bit. Nox is the only casualty on Rogue so far, but his counterpart, Mickey, also going down means that Rogue are on a roll. AKM grabbing multiple finishing blows there allows the checkpoint to be secured in pretty quick time here, and the staggers in the shuttle room are real. The pulse bomb goes out from Soon and takes out Coco on the way back to his team. Harry Hook also in no man's land, facing down Genji and Tracer, can't survive, and Rogue have tons of free space.
That's about as easy as it gets for the first checkpoint, Joshy, and then Soon following up with a nice pulse bomb as well. This is a guy that continued to do it throughout all of today, even against Envy earlier. He was just tearing these guys up. He was relentless with the Tracer here. Now they have 2 ultimates to work with from Nico and AKM, looking to actually find something potentially with the Dragon Blade to be unsheathed here from Nico.
Well, we've got a bunch of ults actually flying out right now. Transcendence is going to be triggered here by the attackers very quickly, but the tactical visor from AKM does come up big with both supports being taken out. There's a 3rd kill onto Coco, and AKM is having just a murder spree right now through Gibraltar, and Rogue show no signs of slowing down. EnVyUs again getting some interesting spawns. Taimu might be able to contest here at the very end. Even he's going to get booped away, and the ults are committed anyway. The nano visor here from Louis gets used, but he gets popped immediately. The Orb of Discord taking him down.
Just a little too late to get to the payload in time. They have almost 6 minutes to complete out the map, Joshy. That is unheard of, especially against a team like EnVyUs. So they are getting rolled right now. That's expected, you know, from Rogue to come out on fire, especially given their break that they had between series a couple of hours ago. But a couple of team fights, and you could be looking at Rogue finishing with 3-4 minutes remaining in the time mix.
Well, Rogue pressed all the way up to the enemy spawn there, and Mickey actually swapped off of Zarya over to Diva this time. And as the fight unfolds, there's a pin actually way up on the high ground. Nico's going to go ahead and pop his Dragon Blade here, looking for some kills. AKM and Soon combining for the Coco and Ana combo. Louis on the Tracer, trying to do what he can just to contest. He's going to get a headshot there by AKM. Sound barrier coming out for Rogue. It is a 5-man ult, but the card itself extremely close to the finish line already with almost 5 minutes left.
Oh, pulse bomb into the base from Soon. He picks up another kill. Soon is just tearing these guys up. A sound barrier from the base from Harry Hook to make sure Coco can stay alive. Not going to be the case, though. Transcendence is out. AKM with the attack visor up top. 4 minutes and 50 seconds. That could very well be like a record from Rogue.
Don't worry about these series reset rules, folks, because Rogue came to play. Oh, man. That one might bite me in the butt later. I would happy to be wrong, but Rogue just flattened EnVyUs. There's really no other way to say that one, but we'll get a chance for EnVyUs to try and do the same. But honestly, that's wow, that's going to be impossible, Joe.
That is quite honestly probably going to be impossible for these guys. I mean, that's difficult. Very difficult. Tamu, of course, saying that there's a little bit of a ping issue, but even so, I mean, 4 minutes and 50 seconds of that not going to be making the biggest difference. It can hurt, definitely. It really can hurt. But Joshy, there was no resistance whatsoever put on that payload at any time. EnVyUs did not win a single team fight that game. Maybe came up with a few kills at most.
Well, Tamu saying that ping has been a kind of a nagging issue for these guys today. It seems that they're having some spikes in their local area, and since 150 ping is not too fun to play on, we've been kind of pausing as necessary, but looks like it's going to stay the same for now. They are confident in that, so they're going to continue playing Gibraltar here as we switch sides. EnVyUs on the attack this time. Tamu loading up the Hanzo very early. I wonder if he's going to try to do that Dragon Strike combo with Mickey yet again. That looked so good against Selfless in the previous match.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well for them, especially running on King's Row earlier. So we'll see if that's something they want to stick with. If not, we'll have to see if he wants to head over to maybe something a little bit more potent. We'll have to see. But on the defense, it looks like they want to stick with that triple DPS composition. Works so well for him, Joshy. I just can't see them running anything else as Rogue just on fire. I mean, what do you even do against 4 minutes and 50 seconds? It's impossible at this point to even match that time. I'd say completing the map is at best what you can get done here if you're EnVyUs.
Yeah, they're hoping for extra rounds so they can at least have another opportunity to hold A, because that didn't happen very well for them. And the shuttle stackers did not work out either. Harry Hook getting caught on the way back to his team, for example. So the shuttle room was like a no contest. If Envy do happen to get into extra rounds, perhaps they can get some better spawn luck at least. But the doors are open now. EnVyUs showing us what they got. Taimu is going to be on that Hanzo, but Mickey's actually starting out on the D.Va. So no Dragon Strike Graviton combo out there. And Louis on the Genji for what I think is the first time today. I think he's been playing Soldier and Tracer pretty much off and on throughout.
I want to say he actually played it a little bit yesterday as well, but I think today as a first might actually be true. In the back line, though, it's going to be Nico taking out Taimu. It looked like EnVyUs had a little bit of a man advantage, but in the end, it's going to be Soon and company cleaning this one up on the payload for the most part. Still 3 people, Harry Hook remaining, as well as the D.Va and Winston is able to recall here, and it looks like it should be EnVyUs with the respawn's advantage to be able to clean up this first fight.
Well, we've still got Soon battling it out on the cart. He is one of the quickest to return to battle from spawn, so the more seconds he can buy, the better for this Rogue defense, as most of their team has already returned. They're already posted up on the high ground. EnVyUs did not have any chance to really go and try and delay that D from setting up. So 3 minutes left to bend the corner here and hit that checkpoint, but Rogue are already back in play, including Soon.
They're on the low ground here, looking for an opportunity to move in. As Soon is actually wrapping around, looking for the 76. Taimu just going to be taken down at the hands of Soon and Nico. They lose wins, but now they can actually get onto the payload here. A bio grenade actually connects there from Chips, but not really going to amount to too much. Dragon Blade unsheathed. No Nico. He gets taken down. It looks like he was able to retain a decent amount of the percentage there, Joshy. But in the end, it still looks like EnVyUs might be able to move the payload forward. Pulse bomb out. Picks up a kill onto Coco, though.
That was a nice one. Getting rid of that Winston certainly helps things. We got Nox triggering the Primal Rage as well on the defense, just to get anyone else who's still on the cart out of play, and that is Harry Hook going back to spawn now. We've got Taimu on the low ground off of the Hanzo now. He has switched over to Soldier and is getting closer and closer to that tactical visor, but AKM's already got his, and Unko with just a couple more darts is going to have that nano available as well. Louis with the Dragon Blade could be a nice option here for EnVyUs if he can get into that backline quickly, but Nico, also a world-class Genji, is going to be able to put a stop to it if he wants to.
Thankfully, he didn't actually, all that percentage of his ultimate wasn't eaten up there when he actually used it in the first place and got taken down. But here's a sound barrier coming out there from the offense, or excuse me, from the, it's on the side of EnVyUs. Tac visor up top, though, from AKM. He has a nano boost onto him as well, Josh. He picks up 1 kill for himself, as well as the D-mech of Mickey, and this should be Rogue, again, cleaning it up.
Most of that ultimate was eaten by Mickey, so that's just a small consolation prize as EnVyUs end up losing the fight anyway. Nox, of course, getting the job done there on Harry Hook all the way back at the cart, and suddenly there's only 90 seconds left for EnVyUs to try and finish the checkpoint, let alone the entire map here, and the ultimates still not favoring them. They have a nano visor ready to go, but they still have to face down a Transcendence, which could negate the whole thing.
This could be rough for them. There's Attack Visor coming out from Taimu here. He has a nano boost, but soon picks up a double kill to get this fight started with the Pulse Bomb, and that's going to amount to a big pickup for him. Coco and Chips both out of this fight. Still numbers advantage to the defense here. Nico still yet to unsheath the blade. I think he might be able to even save that for the next fight.
That's a devastating start here for EnVyUs. The fact that they had 2 players just deleted at the beginning. They definitely can't take a 4v6 against a skilled team like Rogue. So Soon again showing up as an MVP caliber player here. AKM's just sitting comfortably up on the high ground with his healers, not worried at all. And the card's still getting away from him, and Mickey gets picked late.
I don't know what he's doing. He's sitting on the payload. He's out of mech. He's just wasting more time, I think, for the offense here. But you got to realize that Soon was a massive threat to EnVyUs last time. On this map in particular, every single time he opened up a fight, it was with a Pulse Bomb kill, and he did it just then with a double kill once again. Now Nico ready to go with the Dragon Blade. Attack Visor almost good to go from AKM as well. This is going to be an impossible situation here for EnVyUs to get past.
Taimu trying to build that ult as quick as he can, laying the shots into Nox, but Nox has a Primal Rage, so he's not worried at all. The high ground is actually getting dove on by Louis and Mickey, and Nico pops the Dragon Blade and takes out everyone else on the team. There's a Tactical Visor from AKM with another nano boost, and time is ticking down right as they kill everybody off. The card is just sitting there covered in Rogue players, and that was the most one-sided Gibraltar that I've seen yet, and they've played it every series, Joe.
Viewer discretion is advised for this series, guys. That is rough. I mean, this is a best of 5. We're going to Kings Row for the second map, and you gotta wonder, what do you even do if you're EnVyUs at this point? Rogue just tore you to bits, 450 on the clock remaining. You don't even get the first checkpoint. And Rogue, again, just establishing themselves as the best team in the Western region.
That pumpkin that Nico just sliced up, that's about to be EnVyUs here, as he hit a pretty monstrous Dragon Blade. Actually, this isn't even that play. He just got a piece of several different people, and that's all it took, because the game was over so quickly. No one even got a giant multi-kill. Soon's double Pulse Bomb was really kind of the biggest one we saw there as far as combinations, and he just did that one solo.
63% kill participation coming out from Soon, and wins, of course, with a 2:30 objective time. That was probably all on offense when he was pushing that payload. But nonetheless, we're headed to Kings Row. Best of 5 here, and Joshy, I don't know if you're EnVyUs. You got to make some change-ups. You got to find a way to deal with Soon, and even if you do manage to do that, you still got to deal with AKM and Nico. This is going to be one of the toughest toughest series they've had all tournament long, just given that result on the first map.
For sure, and I think that the 1-game lead already for Rogue is kind of worrying for EnVyUs, and they've only played 3 maps against each other. Rogue have taken all 3 pretty swiftly, so this is going to have to be a bounce-back game for them for sure. Kings Row, EnVyUs versus Selfless did look quite expert and phenomenal for EnVyUs, so if they are going to try and bring it back, this could be a good opportunity as both of our teams get readied up here. We'll launch into game number 2 in just a moment, but so far so good for Rogue. I think EnVyUs actually got here to the grand final by shutting down Sinatra's Tracer the best they could. Once they were able to get a handle on Sinatra, things just look so much easier for them on those control maps. This is obviously a little bit of a different animal here when the mode is different, but if they can't deal with Soon, they're not going to be able to do anything, Joe.
Yeah, and honestly, props to Sinatra. He's a terrific tracer, but I really think in this tournament alone, Soon has put himself on a whole new level that no one else on tracer or even any other hero has been able to match. And what kind of a nuisance he can be, consistently opening up fights with pulse bombs and denying your supports any power to actually just stand alone in the back. He's always in that back line, so that's a threat. Like I said, even if they deal with him, all 6 players on Rogue are such a threat to your team that you got to keep every single one of them in check. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing the game like that on Gibraltar.
Well, Taimu did have obviously a pretty good Hanzo game. The fact that it was not crazy, he wasn't like popping off, but he was able to slowly generate that ult without dying and costing his team anything in the previous match against Selfless means that he's got the consistency. He at least knows the positioning to be able to generate a Dragon Strike quickly. It's the fact that you need Mickey to get the Graviton Surge up as well to be able to make that combo, but it is almost a guaranteed point capture if you can land it, so I do see why they're loading it in. Taimu, his best character perhaps though has been McCree. Actually, that match against Selfless on I believe it was Lijiang Tower was one of his best performances yet today. So if they do run into trouble, maybe McCree can help shut down Soon.
We'll see if that's going to be the case here. It doesn't look like that's going to be the opening pick. He is going to go with that Hanzo, which you can find a kill onto the Tracer with like a scatter or something. Not going to be the best solution by any means, but we'll see as he does jump down. That's exactly what they're going to go with and put Louis back on that Roadhog. It's something he's had a lot of success with, and right away he finds a pick onto Soon, a valuable target, and this is an opportunity for EnVyUs to move in.
Well, they're doing just that. Louis finding the kill on Soon was a big pickup, and they're still pressing the advantage. Coco takes out Unko with a swing of the hammer and wins Nico all down as well. It means EnVyUs have basically figured out what to do. Take out Soon first, stomp right on the point.
That seems to be the case. I think Louis earlier in another match, he was on the Roadhog and he just did terrific with these hooks. He was on top every single time. 2 ticks in the bag. I don't even think Rogue should be able to contest this one. It looks like they're trying to. Soon just going to be hit easily there, taken down, and that's going to be under a minute capture coming out right away here for the side of EnVyUs.
Yeah, Tracer is allowed to try to contest as long as possible because she basically has the ability to, and she has the quickest run back from the long spawn if A does get captured. So they'll let Soon go in and try and eat some time up, but no one else is going to commit to that as they don't want to get the long spawns for one of these tanks, for example. So EnVyUs rolling through. Taimu and Mickey only at 30%, 40% of their ultimates because the fight was won so swiftly. Louis and Chips actually doing the bulk of the damage on that one, but 5 minutes to go through the second stretch. Here come Rogue.
And Rogue is actually way in the back line here, looking to deal with the Hanzo. Taimu misses the scatter there onto Soon in close quarter combat. Taimu under a lot of pressure here. Does he find the pick for himself? He does get the kill there, able to get rid of that nuisance and potentially an opportunity for them to continue to move forward. And now we're starting to see some of that charge come up for Taimu, but Mickey's still sitting at about 40%, Joshy.
Well, the fact is that Soon got eliminated so quickly that the defense should have struggled, but the fact is Primal Rage is going to eat up lots of time again and get Genji and Tracer all the way back into play. Coco hits the Earth Shatter, only hits wins, but it is enough to get the kill, especially since Nox was surrounded by the rest of the team. So suddenly it's a 6v4 in the streets with 4.5 minutes to go. Taimu has the Dragon Strike ready and notched, while Mickey still working his way toward that Graviton Surge. Taimu may have actually even benefit by launching it before Mickey gets ready.
Louis way up towards that second checkpoint, found a kill onto Nico, who was put to sleep by Chips Iron. That's a very nice pickup for them as they're going to continue to be able to trudge forward with the numbers advantage. They keep peeking behind him, expecting a flank from Soon, but he's actually just kind of, he's actually spotted out there by Harry Hook, so he's going to be forced to back off of this one. Still plenty of time, though, if you are Rogue, to get a full regroup. There's a nano boost to start it off for Louis.
Nano boosted Whole Hog comes flying out. Tons of damage, but not too many people to actually hit with it as everyone is just scattering for line of sight. There's the Dragon Strike well before the Graviton Surge is prepared. Doesn't catch anything, though, as the Transcendence is triggered by Unko. Keeps everybody in Rogue in high health. Nico popping the Dragon Blade. This is his opportunity to find some squishies, but he gets put down by Coco and company. Louis also grabbing himself another kill. Man, EnVyUs are looking super solid compared to what we just saw on Gibraltar.
This is a complete turnaround from what we saw in Gibraltar. Them on offense to get things started, and I'm not necessarily certain it has to do with Taimu on the Hanzo. I feel like this is a group effort of dealing with Soon. And again, he's just taken down by Louis, and if Louis can continue to do this, then, and they're also keeping AKM and Nico in check, as of course Nico made that change over to Zarya, but there's Nox diving way into the back here along with Nico. Have to see if they're able to find anything. Nico actually going to be charged into. Does he get out alive? No, not going to be the case. EnVyUs should be able to move forward.
Nox has been playing so much Winston lately, I'm surprised his Rhine is actually coming out at all. He almost got booped off into the pit by Harry Hook, but in fact it is going to be EnVyUs still moving forward. Soon is back on the cart, just eating up as much time as possible, but it seems like Scatter Arrow and Hook combos are the way to deal with Soon's Tracer. He has been super ineffective here, just getting eliminated so quickly.
He is. I'm pretty sure he's been dead more than alive throughout this defensive hold, Joshy. Hasn't looked very well for Rogue whatsoever, who have to hold out 4 minutes if they do want to make sure that EnVyUs don't get this checkpoint. There's a nano boost onto Louis. No Whole Hog. He finds Unko. Not quite going to get the kill because Nox comes through. There's an Earth Shatter from both ends, but the Graviton Surge up top into the Dragon Strike. It should be able to clean up one. Looking for another one, but even so, the numbers advantage is to EnVyUs right now. Sound barrier from Harry Hook. Going to be able to keep his team alive. AKM the last one on the point, and EnVyUs complete the map with 3:38 remaining.
It was a 3v2 at the very end, and everyone on defense was just about to respawn, but very, very swift action from Rogue to take out those last two remaining members. Very good job by EnVyUs taking out the last two on Rogue. Allow them to finish with extra time in the bank, 3.5 minutes, 4 extra rounds, and suddenly we're going to flip sides. We'll see if Rogue remember how to do what they did on Gibraltar and breeze through again, but EnVyUs definitely feeling the pain from that first map and turning things around quickly.
You know, I did doubt Rogue on Gibraltar earlier today when they played against Cloud9, and then they pushed on offense. And I'm just like, well, you know, don't doubt Rogue ever when they're on offense. So given that, I'm expecting them to be able to complete the map in a relatively you know, a similar time potentially. I mean, 3:38 is a lot of time to work with, but if they can just make sure they set a steady pace right from the get-go, they should be in a decent position to be able to complete the map.
Well, one of the last times I cast Rogue was against Selfless here on King's Row, and Selfless actually full held them at point A. So Rogue have had their stumbles here before. King's Row being the pick from EnVyUs, that's probably the reason why. They showed a really nice gameplay throughout there. The Dragon Strikes from Taimu's Hanzo didn't even need Mickey's Graviton Surges. The second one, in fact, only got 1 kill with it anyway. So Taimu just doing a great job on Hanzo, managed to stick on there the entire time without getting flopped ever, just able to stay far in the back and land those shots reliably. Soon, again, missing that piece over and over cost Rogue quite a bit, and it even forced Nox to play Reinhardt for the first time today, which is really a big switch up for him, as he's been on Winston as far back as I can remember.
And it looks like they want to put Taimu now on the Roadhog and drop Louis over to the Tracer, and Mickey now on the Diva. So a little bit of a change up coming out there from the side of EnVyUs. But on offense, AKM with the Pharah, keeping Soon on the Tracer, trusting in that he knows what he's doing and able to get the job done for his team. Unko, to see, he's probably going to be making the change over to Zenyatta, and all is right with the world once again. We'll see how they deal with this Pharah in the skies.
Yeah, AKM Pharah is kind of an interesting one. He hasn't really played that too much either today. Maybe one stage on a control map, but Wins gets nuked down. He is the attacking Lucio, so EnVyUs definitely gaining that benefit. Both Lucios out of play, actually. In fact, AKM able to plant a rocket on him from long range, and suddenly we've got the Tracers doing the best they can. Louis and Soon kind of battling it out on different ends of the map, but EnVyUs have actually been pushed back a little bit here. Rogue standing on the point, getting their first bit of percentage.
I think AKM on the Pharah is really making sure the supports on the side of EnVyUs aren't able to really get to the spot they want to right now. He is pressuring them so far in the back. There's a kill. Lands the direct onto Harry Hook. Meanwhile, on the point, it's Soon and Nox cleaning this one up here for Rogue, who should be able to secure the first checkpoint, Joshy.
AKM has not really seemed threatened at all. He's on fire, and he has a barrage already as they capture point A in just about 1 minute. So EnVyUs did it in about 40 seconds. Rogue not too far behind, still have 5.5 minutes here for the second stretch. And Envy do have Taimu switching over to the McCree that we mentioned earlier. Mickey's going to get picked fairly early, as will AKM. So this fight breaking out in the pub still could go either way. Soon planting a pulse bomb on Coco gives them even more advantage here, and they're going to continue pressing.
Oh, Taimu looking for Soon as well. Not quite going to be able to get him, though. I wanted to say that Taimu immediately, when he made the change to the McCree, immediately took down AKM, which was good value of the pick. They didn't really have anything to deal with him other than maybe a Roadhog hook, maybe some hits there from Chip Cyan as well. But right away, we see Rogue, after winning that fight so far, there's a self-destruct. Do they get any kills? No, not going to be the case. But look how far back they are into this spawn, Joshi.
It's interesting because Rogue could actually die out here and still make it back to the cart pretty reasonably quickly. Coco's gonna make a long range dash through as they finally get those kills and get rid of those pesky Rogue players up in their face. The cart itself really only has one dogleg left to actually reach the checkpoint, and Nico himself is going to get popped out of his suit and taken down. Soon will also go down, and EnVyUs reclaim the cart without actually too much damage being done. They have lots of volts prepared, and this cart is not anywhere further than it should be.
Just kind of a late kill there on Soon. He was kind of left in the back, thought he could get out of that one, but good follow-up from Louis, was able to secure the kill with the rest of the team. And in the meantime, not a whole lot of ults really used. Oh, there's Louis up top, finds the kill onto AKM, who still hasn't had an opportunity to use the barrage. Joshi, Transcendence out as well. There's a pulse bomb from both sides. They both get a kill piece, but Mickey, with the nano boost onto him, should be able to help his team grab up the remaining kills here and secure the defensive hold.
A full health Taimu McCree still is a very scary thing. He takes out Nico and Soon, both with headshots, and they are some slippery targets. So Taimu definitely showing his aim. You actually can't spell Taimu without the word aim. Did you realize that, Joe?
I didn't realize that, man. I haven't actually looked. I don't look for those things like you must.
I just realized it now as I was saying it. But anyway, EnVyUs are pushing forward again. They're back on the cart. Rogue are here to take the battle to them. Coco still has an Earth Shatter ready to go, watching for it. There it goes. And 2 members of Rogue get popped on their backs, but there's no damage follow-up. AKM up in the skies, still raining those rockets down. AKM still getting the better of Taimu until just now he gets picked off. And it's still anyone's battle on the cart, but it looks like Rogue are starting to dwindle.
They're still looking to actually press this fight, surprisingly enough, especially without a couple of their key players. There's a Primal Rage being popped from Nux. Clearly, he thinks he can do something with it. Not the biggest fan of this one, Joshy, especially since they can't find a way to deal with Taimu, who is a big issue for them right now, because AKM has had this barrage since capturing point A like multiple minutes ago. And it's because he can't use it because Taimu, they have to figure out a way to deal with him.
He's just got to keep the angles away from McCree. He knows that McCree's going to be in the back all the time because that's where he's safest. So if he can barrage the front line, perhaps into Coco's shield or Zarya, and power them down quickly, perhaps that could be the best bet. But AKM's going to dump it into the barrage instead with another great combination. They get 3 kills in about 2 seconds, and the cart is free and clear once again. Coco charging, does get the pin on wins, and soon also falls, but Rogue do have all the bodies on the cart now. Only one player from EnVyUs left. He's going to back it off. Taimu trying to stay alive while the rest of his team catches up.
And that setup was all because of Nox. Nox dove into the back line, kind of dispersed Louis and Taimu, and ensured that that Graviton Surge barrage combo was perfectly set up for him. They're going to go ahead and contest this one as best they can. Transcendence is out. They use the Nano Boost onto Louis right here. Nox picks up 2 more kills in the back line here. Still Louis under a lot of pressure. He should be taken down in just a moment's time here, as it looks like they are going to be able to clean this one up. Maybe, just maybe, Joshy, finally they're going to get some help there from the Winston and be able to get the second checkpoint.
Yeah, unfortunately for EnVyUs, they had to stay on the cart, and Rogue did not, so they just kind of split up, took different angles, and were able to get those tanks killed off. But it was a pretty heroic play there by Mickey just to stall them out for a little bit, actually let EnVyUs respawn here and try to battle again. But Nico up in the face of Louis and Taimu gets both kills before backing out. Actually, he doesn't even need to back out. Everyone on his team has his back, and the cart itself very slowly moving. If I'm Rogue here, I would at least try to 2-push since Unko is so close by.
You're already down in terms of time. You won't be able to capture it for at least another 30+ seconds if you do win the next team fight. There's a Deadeye coming out though. Oh, AKM finds the kill. Pulse Bomb sticks there onto Nico, or excuse me, Nox rather. He pops a Primal Rage to make sure he can keep himself alive. This is all or nothing here for the side of Rogue.
Cart is not moving now. Sound Barrier's out on both sides. Allow Rogue to actually stay in the fight, soon getting the kill on Chips there. Coco, Earthshatter comes out but finds nothing. A Pulse Bomb from Soon takes out Mickey and Coco. Harry Hook also down, and Rogue are rolling. This is their final stretch. Can they get there without too much opposition? It's going to be a trickle defense from EnVyUs either way, so Rogue should have this under wraps.
Yeah, it should be the case. Nox immediately takes care of business. Chips isn't able to get back in time. They do finish with a little slower of a time, 2:16 as opposed to 3:38. But that is definitely not going to be the biggest of differences for Rogue, especially if they can actually muster up some sort of defense this time around for the first checkpoint.
It's definitely still anyone's map here at Kings Row. We've seen wild things happen in these extra rounds. Sometimes teams wake up and figure out what the heck they were doing wrong a little bit late and just have a great extra round. So the time deficit, we've seen winners with less time win today. So still could be the case for Rogue trying to improve their lead to 2-0 if they can. EnVyUs, of course, just trying to battle back. They will be on the defense first, and Rogue will get another run through the streets here. Last time they captured it in about 1 minute flat. We'll see if they can improve on that, or if EnVyUs are going to be able to shut them down.
Yeah, both teams were able to get that first checkpoint rather quickly. I think the big question mark here is if either team can actually muster up some defense for the first checkpoint. I think that really comes down most importantly to Rogue, specifically because they have over a minute less time than what we see from EnVyUs. So a couple of holds when they're on defense for that first checkpoint will be able to even out that time just a little bit here. That being said, 2:16 is a decent amount of time to work with Joshi, and I'd be curious to see if AKM wants to stick with that Pharah again, knowing that Taimu might be expecting it this time around and is obviously doing so by being on the McCree here.
Well, as doors are open, they've got their 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We can see the composition is going to be all dive all the time, and no Ana in play, so no nano boost, but the Discord orbs bouncing from target to target can make for some squishy rocket targets here for AKM, and they still only have Taimu for the hit scan to try and deal with him. Taimu going to plant that headshot on Nox, slowing Rogue down considerably.
And AKM knows that that might be a threat. Is he going to make the change? Hovering in the base right here, it looks like he's going over to the Soldier 76, knowing that Taimu will be an issue moving forward. As you can see, already finding that first kill soon. Oh, barely gets to safety here in the duel here on the side with Louis, but regardless, Rogue need to find an opportunity to move in.
Here we have Envy kind of pushing up forward as they see a bunch of targets here for Coco to start slapping with his hammer. Unko and Nico both go down, and EnVyUs, Taimu and Chips actually all the way in the backline pouring in the damage as well, are able to stand firm again, deflecting Rogue. So 1 minute, 20 seconds means it's definitely a slower push than last time, and Louis with the pulse bomb on Wind staggers them even further.
We have a Winston duel up top as well. It looks like they should be able to back Mickey off of that one. But like you said, another stagger coming out from Louis. Only about 60 seconds remaining here. Ultimate's kind of starting to come up for both teams, but I fear that Rogue just not going to be in a good position moving forward, especially, with another kill on us soon. He gets hit by a wildfire strike from Coco.
You deal with Soon, you win the game. I think that's what we decided on EnVyUs' first attack, and they seem to be doing just that. The staggered kills certainly help out as well, but 45 seconds remaining for Rogue. They've got basically no ultimates to work with. AKM's getting very close to the attack visor. Taimu's Deadeye not usually as efficient as that ultimate, but he's going to go ahead and use it right away, and he gets dove on. Does manage to survive, though. Wins actually falls in the process. We've got a nano boosted Mickey Winston trying to zap everyone down. Does get Genji in the process, and that's a second kill for him. 25 seconds for Rogue. They have to run or die at this point because they've got one more opportunity to try to take A with only 1.3% captured.
And the worst part about it is that they have to go into a sound barrier from Harry Hook and an Earth Shatter, which is going to be pretty big, I think, especially if Coco can continue to find these. 10 seconds to go. They have to contest this one. Josh, the only attack visor, AKM's going to have to come up big for his team, as we do see the attack visor come down. Dragon Blade ready to go. The Nano Boost is out here. No, he's hit by the Earth Shatter. He gets charged into. Coco coming up with the big kill. Nico is dead before he can even unsheath the Dragon Blade here, and it looks like EnVyUs have a solid defense.
Yeah, they saved the ultimates for the right time there. Primal Rage being one of the best stall ultimates possible. Taimu's getting focused almost every time, and they're still keeping up. That's credit to Chips for sure with the proper timing on the nades and the darts, and it's an easy cleanup again for EnVyUs. Again, night and day looks here from Gibraltar over to Kings Row, but this is their turf, and if Rogue are going to have any chance of winning, they're going to need a miraculous hold here.
I mean, it's like asking for a full point A hold again with 3:38, pretty close to about 4 minutes there. And last time it was EnVyUs just steamrolling them over that first checkpoint here. So I don't know, Joshy. It's going to be a tough one here. I think they only actually need 11.8%. I forgot about that one. 11.8%, which is not really a lot if you are the side of EnVyUs. So they're looking at being able to take this maybe off of just one team fight and tying up the series 1-1.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to be able to defend only 12%, as normally you see the tactics on Kings Row defense are to back up behind the hotel and actually let the attackers get onto the point a little bit before you start the battle. They can't even afford that. So I'm curious to see if the composition will switch it up at all, trying to be more stally characters. Yeah, there's Nico on the Diva. That makes sense. AKM starting out on the Pharah might not be the best. They actually, I can't tell if they're ferrying him back or not. AKM's still just bouncing around waiting for the rest of his team, but Pharah Mercy combo definitely is a nice thought if they can get up to that resurrection in 3 minutes and 38 seconds and somehow hold, could actually come into play in a big way.
Be interesting to see that on the defense here, especially knowing what Taimu has been able to do to these guys, time after time here on the McCree. But it doesn't look like he's on McCree to get this one started. He's going to be hovering over the Hanzo, which worked out for him really well last time, Josh. They didn't actually even get to their ultimates. I think him and Mickey were at like 37% or 30-something% of the last time when they actually captured the first checkpoint. A lot of the picks were on top of what Louis and Coco were able to get done on tanks.
Well, with the doors open now, Coco's going to be the first one onto the point. AKM launching right over his head, trying to find the squishies in the backline, has the damage in for Mercy, but can't plant enough damage onto Chips. He gets out in time. Coco actually eating a lot of damage from Soon's Tracer is going to be the first casualty, and Envy will need to regroup here. That barrier is just too important. They don't really have the protection here for Taimu and Chips without it, so they're backing off just a bit. Louis swinging out, trying to find a hook, can't get it done.
AKM's going to have to be so careful now that Taimu actually moves over to the McCree, and so is Soon. A single pick could be GG for these guys. Not going to have really a whole lot of time to be able to stagger back to the point. So every single player on the side of Rogue really mattering right now, as Nox actually looking to get behind into the back here, looking for the flank, is actually going to get hit by the stun. Nox going to go down. The first of all, they do take care of business on the Taimu. That's going to allow AKM to actually do something here on the Pharah.
1.7%. They're getting closer and closer. Louis gets a kill onto Wins, and they're marching forward here with a great man advantage. Nico's going to be down as well, and that is EnVyUs really asserting themselves. Almost no one left to defend except Unko. The hook combo deals with him. AKM does get the barrage, but only gets about half of a second out before getting popped by Louis there on the Roadhog. Winston falls, and that's 8% now. We've got a Lucio showing up, getting powered down by the whole hog, and the deed is done with plenty of time left on the clock. EnVyUs tying the series up 1-1 in this best of 5.
Very impressive coming out from them, especially after what happened on Gibraltar, man. I expected this to be kind of a roll for Rogue. So we're going to be heading to Dorado for the third map. I think this is honestly the first time that we've seen Dorado today, at least from the ones I've been casting here. I'm not sure if you've actually seen this, but excited to head to a new map for the first. I didn't see it at all yesterday either, so this could be the first time for both of us here.
I think Dorado got randomed up a couple times in the matches, but they never actually went to them. We had actually way more 2-0s today than I think I would have expected, but here you see Taimu getting that play of the match. Just free and clear to click on heads. He got headshots on both Soon and Nico in that play.
And clearly, success from Envy is going to be through Taimu on the McCree, because every time he brings that out, it seems to be working for him. And if they can, obviously, another boon to that is if they can deal with Soon as well, they're going to be coming out, looking a lot better than they did on Gibraltar. So I really think they're starting to figure out what's working for them here in this best of 5. And if they can keep that up, man, they have a real shot of taking down Rogue.
All right, so Dorado, a full payload map similar to Gibraltar, which is what Rogue has been choosing every single time. They also chose Dorado, so they're very confident in their full payload maps. Obviously, with Nico and Soon on your side, able to just get in the back lines easily over and over, that is going to be the strat to run with. But EnVyUs did a good job shutting down Soon on Kings Row. That could happen again if Louis plays the Roadhog, Taimu sticks to the McCree. We'll just have to see which compositions we end up with here.
Yeah, and something to kind of note is, Envy coming into this one, it was a very hyped matchup against Rogue in the winners brackets finals, and didn't quite really perform to how people expected. That was pretty much a roll on Gibraltar and Numbani. Numbani, if you remember back that far, Numbani, I don't even think Envy came up with the first checkpoint. I think they had maybe a few percentage on one. So this is a big step in the right direction here for Envy, especially for a team who's going to be in Korea with Rogue. They're going to have to go up against each other quite a bit, I think, in terms of, trying to get to each other's level, especially Envy to Rogue here. So we'll see if they're able to keep it up, Joshy, and potentially take another map. I wouldn't be surprised now seeing that, to see this go to a game 5, potentially onto like Nepal here.
It certainly could, but if you think about it just from a math perspective, they have to win 4 maps, EnVyUs, and they just joined a very short list of people that have actually taken any maps off of Rogue, right? So Selfless and Rise Nation earlier in the tournament, but EnVyUs is one of very few people who've even been able to claim that. So to win 4 more maps total, it's still a tall order.
That certainly would be. I mean, Rogue up against Selfless, that's a matchup we've seen, I believe, 4 times, all of which Rogue took it 3-2. So we'll see if Envy can try to match that. Liquid only managed to take 1 map off of them in the Overwatch Pit Championship. So given that, at least Envy's got 1 under the belt, going to try to take another one here on Dorado. And if not Dorado, they've got their map pick of Hollywood up next following this.
Okay, time ticking down a little bit here as we get loaded onto Dorado, game number 3 in this best of 5. Oh, wow. Louis letting us know that he might have a medical emergency. I said it earlier today, if you guys weren't here, Louis actually just had his wisdom teeth removed on Friday. So even yesterday, his stitches were bleeding, he said. When he was talking, he noticed bits of blood. But I guess it's getting worse and worse when you have to play tons and tons of Overwatch games in a grand final for thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's rough, man. That is really rough. That can definitely hurt moving forward, because that's something you're definitely thinking about throughout the match. Not all of your attention is always on it for the most part here, but it will be, of course, Rogue on the defense to get things underway, and going to be running pretty much what they've been running before, because it's been working for them, Joshy.
Well, 30 seconds till doors open. Taking a look at those comps, yeah, I think McCree Roadhog is the way to go. It is obviously the best thing to be able to shut down Soon thus far, and also headshots on Nico, hooks on Nico can also slow down Rogue quite considerably. But AKM, that means a lot is going to be on his shoulders, really. If those close range threats are going to be trying to fend off Genji and Tracer, AKM will need to have a big day here, starting out on the defense. Envy on the other side, though, Mickey is always a different pick each game. He's going to be going with the Diva to start off.
I've been really impressed with Louis on the Roadhog today. His other heroes haven't been bad by any means. They've been pretty solid, but his Roadhog has been able to actually shut down Soon, from like we saw there on Kings Row. So if he's able to keep that up, they should be in a good spot. But there's Nox looking for the aggression onto Mickey here, almost taken out of the mech. He's able to get to safety, but nonetheless applying some of that pressure here, and potentially looking for Taimu, who's all the way back up in the base still, knowing that the threat of Nico could come at any time.
Soon with the Harmony Orb, able to stall out that cart a little bit. Every second counts, of course, and Nico able to combine with Nox there to take out Louis on the Roadhog is an excellent pick, because that gives Soon a little bit more freedom to do his thing against the Reinhardt and Diva on the point itself. AKM getting charged there by Mickey's Diva, able to escape back to his friendly healers, and it's going to be all Rogue on the cart right now. 45 seconds already burned off before reaching the choke.
Taimu's having a rough time actually finding targets to hit, because it's a rough spot being down on the low ground here. There's so many points to hide behind, and walls to hide behind, rather, for the side of Rogue on defense here. So he's going to look for a different approach this time around here as we start to see them moving. Nice flashbang connects on the Nox. Doesn't quite find the kill, unfortunately, but still, Soon with the pulse bombs out there, doesn't find its stick, actually sticks to the payload. No kill inside, though.
Well, still, Nico, even though Soon is not near the cart itself. Nico's taken that position for the time being. He rotates out with Nox and gets the Nano Blade going, starting to take some swipes at Mickey's Diva Suit. Does get the kill there. Taimu actually catching the Nano Boost here for EnVyUs, trying to land some shots, but Genji's all over the place. He does manage to take out the bullseye-shaped Zenyatta at least. There goes Nico as well, and EnVyUs suddenly have the cart moving. That sound barrier is going to allow them to get through the choke pretty easily as well.
That could have been a completely different fight if it wasn't for Harry Hook coming back and supporting Taimu. Taimu was in the one-on-one with Soon, way back towards the base, but Harry Hook coming to the rescue, giving him the heals and the extra punch to the face as Soon. Almost gets caught there again by Louis, but even so, you've got 210. That payload's starting to get towards that checkpoint. Do they have time to contest? Wynn's actually popping the Transcendence to make sure they can contest, Joshy.
Taimu Deadeye still finds the kill on Tracer. I don't know what the excuse is for that one. Soon was in definitely the wrong position on that play, and EnVyUs are going to continue to move here. The choke point is right there, but the Primal Rage from Winston is going to slow them down a bit. AKM has time to get the Tactical Visor active as well, and Rogue still may hold here. Louis gets put to sleep on the Roadhog. That's a lot of damage missing. Suddenly it's just the supports trying to battle off most of Rogue.
That was a big turnaround, especially since it looked like they had it. The Transcendence from Wynn's coming up big for those guys, able to keep them on the payload to contest here. 130 remaining. Not a lot of ults, though, for either team moving forward, Joshy. So this could be very rough for the side of EnVyUs, who don't have a whole lot of time. Harry Hook as well, under a lot of pressure. He's going to be taken down from downtown by Wynn's. Soon with the Pulse Bomb, sticks onto the Winston, gets the kill onto Mickey as well. Soon is coming alive here for the side of Rogue.
The Orb of Discord had the perfect timing there for the Pulse Bomb to connect. It was basically like, hey, over here, throw the Discord Orb, then throw the Pulse Bomb. Easy kill onto Winston. And time is up to 50% onto another Deadeye already. Coco has the Earth Shatter ready and loaded if they get up to the cart here. There's really not a barrier to contend with other than Nox's bubble. So Coco's eyes going to be getting pretty big here if he can find several squishies at once to take down. But EnVyUs still taking their time, coming through the choke point here. They don't want to risk getting picked off before they're prepared. And Mickey's going to be diving into the backline looking for the squishies. Nano Blade from Genji is active. Nico taking some slices. Harry Hook is down. Nano boost onto Mickey's Winston. Also going into the opposite backline means the supports will not survive for long. Nico gets another kill onto Coco, and Rogue are looking good for a hold here.
They are certainly, but can they deal with the threat of Taimu? Taimu picks up another kill. Nico going to be taken down soon. The lone survivor here for Rogue. He's not going to last too much longer thanks to the hook coming out from Louis. It looked like Rogue had that in the bag, but Taimu and Mickey all coming up big there for the side of Envy, confirming that first checkpoint. But 245, really not a whole lot of time to work with, especially since some ults are starting to come through here for the side of Rogue. We definitely have an opportunity to make a good hold here, Joshy.
EnVyUs are able to get the job done primarily because Rogue could not leave the cart. If they did, the checkpoint would have been hit, so they were kind of fish in a barrel for Taimu in the backline there, as well as the tanks that were still alive with him. So it makes sense. EnVyUs able to break through there. 2.5 minutes here for the second stretch. It was very, very close to a full hold there by Rogue. Taimu going to trigger the Deadeye. Should not be able to find any targets with the amount of time that he's got there. Mickey is going to dive onto the high ground, trying to find some targets. Nico gets popped out of his suit and eliminated. Coco eats a Pulse Bomb yet again from Soon, and more ults come flying out. We've got AKM's Tactical Visor getting smacked away by Mickey on the Primal Rage Winston, but AKM lands right next to Taimu, who flashes and headshots him. What a roller coaster there for AKM Soldier.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I honestly thought that knocking him to the low ground would have helped AKM because he had the Tac Visor active, but he knocked him into the worst possible target, being Taimu, who just follows up with an easy flashbang kill. So that's going to take a minute off the clock, but still EnVyUs moving forward with the payload and only really used 2 ultimates. The Deadeye, which is back to 45% now, and the Primal Rage from Mickey, so still EnVyUs sitting pretty good right here.
That was one of the most ridiculous plays I think I've seen today. So good stuff here for Rogue to take advantage of it. Soon is going to pop Mickey very quickly. So a 6v5 for Rogue's defense pushing forward. You've got a sleeping McCree as well, so Taimu's damage is going to be missing from the fight. They do commit Nano Boost to the whole hog from Louis, but he's already Orb of Discorded and Purple Naded, so Rogue are going to be just fine getting away from it. 2 ults used for basically no advantage, and Envy are going to get reset again, waiting for their full team.
I think they expected people to dive in there from the side of Rogue because Student was actually caught in a bad spot. He got hooked in, but somehow was able to recall to safety. I think Louis might have had to reload. Then the Nano Hog came out there. So they expected someone to follow up off of what Soon was doing, but wasn't the case here. Soon still has a Pulse Bomb ready to go. He's sneaking up top, Joshy. Look at him right now. He's looking for the opportunity. Pulse Bomb goes in there. He sticks it. A Bio Grenade comes through as well from Unco. It looks like they are going to be able to secure this fight, to say the least. It's Taimu going to be taken down below, and they should be able to pounce on the remaining members here of EnVyUs.
Gotta love it when the ambush works out. Sometimes it gets stomped out. This time the pulse bomb finds the Winston. Winston tried to leap away. Credit to him for getting away from his team, but just not quick enough as the explosion dragged down his teammate with him. So Rogue looking super good here on the Dorado defense, just like they did on Gibraltar. 20 seconds left for Envy, and they're on a bunch of slow characters here, so they have to get the job done in the next 10 seconds. Lucio's gonna be the first one back to the cart.
Taimu making a change over to the Widowmaker now. Let's see what he can actually accomplish with this one. AKM also coming up on attack visor. They've got the nano boost to help him out. They're actually going around a very odd way right now. Overtime, gonna take down here. Still looking for something. We'll have to see if they're able to find any kills. Oh, it's Louis, the first to drop here. Nano boost and sound barrier are out here. Nano boost is on to Mickey. The Earth Shatter only connects there on to Nico. The follow-up with the charge isn't enough to get the job done, but remember, AKM was taken down, so is Unco, and it looks like EnVyUs should be able to move forward, Joshy.
Great play there from Coco to actually take out Nico while he was out of his exploding Diva suit. You only get a small window to get that kill, and Coco came up big with that one. The checkpoint is right in front of them if they can just deal with this Winston. But of course, Nox is one of the best Winstons out there. He has the best timings for jumps and primal rages. Buys plenty of time here for Rogue to get the nano visor in. Soon also dropping a pulse bomb for a bunch of damage. Overtime still active here. If Envy step off the point even for a moment, that overtime is going to drain down.
Yeah, that's going to go down extremely quickly. Unfortunately for the side of Rogue, they had no value off of the nano visor. AKM had the low ground, wasn't able to find anything, and it's going to be EnVyUs again, guaranteeing themselves at least another 90 seconds to try to complete the map of Dorado here. Hard fought, Joshy, but dang, they deserve that after that push.
Hanging on by a thread there as they finally get the checkpoint. Man, that was overtime triggered all the way from the underpass all the way to the checkpoint, and they still managed to deflect Rogue enough times to get the job done. Now in the final stretch, 1 minute to go, essentially, to turn 2 corners. Taimu does pop the wall hacks and gets soon taken out.
That's rough, especially if they have that Widowmaker consistently finding kills. They're going to go ahead and use the nano boost onto Louis here, who's going to be running around low ground looking for targets. There are no targets because Taimu's finding all the kills, Joshy, and that should be able to secure another team fight. 45 seconds. That payload is certainly cruising forward at this pace.
Well, here we go. 40 seconds is not a ton of time, but they do have the momentum on their side, already pushing up toward the spawn here. And with a Nico up in the front line, he's going to be able to fly over to the cart, actually over to Taimu to try and knock him off of his ledge. Pulse bomb went flying out from Louis. Did not find a kill, unfortunately. Mickey is going to be powered down, but actually saved by his friendly healer Chips. Taimu down to about 2 HP. Still gets the headshot on Soon, and EnVyUs are continuing to roll here. Another pick onto Unco. This could be it.
Nox does have a primal rage and the nano boost to give him that damage reduction, but he's not going to be lasting too much longer, Joshy. He is the lone survivor here. AKM coming around here, has attack visor, is going to go ahead and drop this one, but is there anybody to actually get on the point to contest? He can't even poke his head around the corner because Taimu finds a couple of snipes. Mickey is here as well, and this is going to be EnVyUs more than likely securing this third checkpoint. No one's going to be able to get back in time. EnVyUs going to power through despite looking pretty rough to get the map started.
Round 1 complete with 0 seconds left is significant, of course, as it could be a huge deal if Rogue are able to blaze through this map the way they did on Gibraltar. Don't forget that just 2 games ago, they finished all of Gibraltar with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. Of course, Dorado is a bit of a different animal with the layout of the map itself, but Rogue picked this place because they're confident here. They very nearly held on the first point, very nearly held on the second point, and Envy just happened to finish there in the last seconds. Great mustering of their strength there for Taimu to hop on the Widow and actually help out huge.
It was a very risky pick for him to actually go to that Widowmaker basically in overtime. It was their final push for the second checkpoint, but it really paid off there in the end, finding a couple of picks to be able to secure the second checkpoint. And then throughout the end, he was on fire. So terrific pickup coming out from Taimu and the rest of EnVyUs, who, like you said, finishing in overtime and honestly have a real shot now to be able to put themselves in a position to be able to take this series if they do manage to take Dorado here. But this is going to be rough. Like you said, this was Rogue's map pick. So the next map is Hollywood, which we are definitely going to be heading to here, which was on the side of EnVyUs. And, you know, with how well they're looking, Joshy, this very well could be going to a second series.
Ooh, that would be something, man. That would be some real hype for all our viewers here. Over 20,000 of you now joining us. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out with us on your Sunday. This is some excellent Overwatch. Rogue versus EnVyUs is a match that I think people have been waiting for a very long time. And despite it being in a $10,000 online tournament, I think we are getting definitely what we wanted out of this one. And we've just had
the second time.
Interesting storylines. Oh yeah, the second time.
The first time, I don't think it's what people had anticipated.
Maybe not.
Rogue steamrolling them 2-0, especially on Numbani. Honestly, I'm surprised Rogue didn't pick Numbani after what happened earlier. But Yeah, I think this is what people were hoping for, this type of series with how close it is.
That's a good point, though. They maybe should have picked Nimbani. Maybe they were hoping it would be random as the 5th map, and then they could just have that advantage moving in. But as we get the doors open here, Louis already in the backline here as the... oh, excuse me, that's... After we switch sides, he's actually defending Tracer being surrounded here by the attacking Rogue, and EnVy are actually playing a very, very recessed position back by the fountain, which is a bit unusual compared to what we've seen lately.
AKM on that Pharah, I'm shocked he's sticking with it, especially with what time he's been able to do here on the McCree. We'll have to see if it pays off for him or if soon is going to be enough of a nuisance in the backline along with Nico to actually try to deal with the McCree here, but still looking to move forward here. There's Mickey getting on top of Nico. He's able to dive out of this one still. Soon finds the first pick there onto Louis. Ace should be able to follow up off of this one. He's way in the backline here. That's going to open up a big window for the rest of his team to move forward.
Soon also moving forward here on Taimu combines with Unko for the kill there, so Rogue are still rolling clear through here. AKM plants some rockets onto Coco and gets the job done. Chips actually does hit a sleep dart, but it's a small consolation for when you're getting eliminated. Wins was the target anyway, and he's always on the cart asleep anyway, so not the biggest pickup. They are going to get the checkpoint.
And hold on to the Dragon Blade, most importantly for the side of Rogue, who have that available for the next fight. Louis now making a change over to Soldier 76 as well, maybe to just add a little bit of added pressure onto AKM. The double hit scan, surprisingly enough, we'll have to see how it fares for them, Josh. But even so, they still have to find a way to deal with it soon. They found it earlier with Louis on the Roadhog. I'm surprised they didn't go back to that.
Oh, Nano Boost committed very early here by EnVyUs, and they're not really in a position to make use of it yet. Mickey's going to actually dive into the backline right as it's ending, but they do get the kill on Zenyatta, so good enough for now. AKM and Nox need to back off just to make sure they don't get picked as well, but a regroup here from Rogue should be all they need. Nico has the Dragon Blade prepared. Taimu pretty close to a Deadeye on the other side, but EnVyUs looking pretty dry on ultimates.
Looking for Nico to move in here, maybe up to that high ground to try to match Louis, who's going to try to rain onto AKM, of course, that made that switch to the 76. Now, Deadeye from Taimu finds a pick there onto Soon, but it's a 1-for-1. You lose the tank, you lose the Tracer, and I think Rogue have the advantage. There's a slice coming out there from Nico, picks up a kill onto Coco as well, and that should be the rest of his team continuing to move forward. They still didn't even need to use the Dragon Blade or the Transcendence, most importantly, Joshy.
Taimu's in trouble here, able to back out just in time. It looked like Genji was maybe going to be able to get that death blow, but Nox actually fell to about 2 HP over the course of that first fight and ran away from his team to find some health packs. He finally rejoins the cart here, but lots of ults piling up now for Rogue. Here comes the sound barrier from Wins to engage. Earthshatter comes out from Coco, doesn't get a whole lot with it. Sound barrier on the other side and Transcendence now for EnVyUs, trying to stall as long as they can. Actually, excuse me, that was Unko's Transcendence trying to push forward, but still kills just now showing up. AKM and Coco both down. It's still anybody's fight on the cart itself. Pulse Bomb whiffs. Nano Boost committed to Mickey. He's jumping up and down on the cart, trying to find the kill on Wins, and Unko should be able to do it, and Rogue will get reset.
That's really big that they came through with that team fight because Coco missed an Earthshatter that hit nobody. Then he charges into Unko. I think he like sideswipes him, and Unko is mid-Transcendence, so he finds no value. There's no one around him when he ends that charge. So Coco didn't really get a whole lot done that last fight. Thankfully, the rest of his team were able to step it up, and that Nano Boost onto Nox, or excuse me, that Nano Boost onto Mickey kind of paying off, it seems, as both teams ready to go with the tac visors for the next fight. But it looks like Louis has the advantage positionally.
Well, we've got Rogue back in play now. They burned all their ultimates last time, and Taimu found AKM right at the beginning of the fight, but now Taimu getting eliminated by the tank combo of Rogue means we're in a 5v5 situation. Coco's shield is getting quite low, but the Orb of Discord is actually going to make a big difference here as Harry Hook eats a headshot from Unko at long range. There's the tactical visor from Louis. Not too many teammates around him, but it is going to trigger everyone to move forward here. We've got Primal Rage from Nox. He's going to be smacking Louis away. Deadeye also triggered, so Nox needs to keep line of sight, but the cart itself, Primal Rage from Mickey coming out. He falls to about 20% health. He's still bouncing around trying to stall, but he does go down in the end. Rogue with the momentum under the underpass.
That time around, Taimu, not the best spot to be able to use that Deadeye. He was hoping that someone would peek their head around the corner, but that payload hadn't even moved around the final bend. Now we have the tac visor and the Transcendence coming out here from the side of Rogue, looking for something. Oh my goodness, does he find anything? It looks like the sound barrier saves him for the time being, coming out from Harry Hook. It's a 1-for-1 right here, but it's a self-destruct coming through as well. There's AKM finding the pick for himself. Nico as well cleans this one up, and Rogue having 3:30 to work with. So much more time this time around for their push as opposed to what we saw there from EnVy.
It is quite a different story here. Rogue actually with tons of time in respect to what EnVyUs had with basically a minute only after pushing through this garage door. Rogue are going to have 3 times that to get the same value. So Coco up on the high ground here with the Reinhardt shield trying to protect his team. Taimu has not swapped over to a Widowmaker. He's sticking to the McCree. He has been finding Deadeye kills on the Soon pretty often. Sound Barrier here going to trigger the fight, but he actually gets shut down before it can land.
Louis not even needing to use attack visor. That's big that they're able to secure that team fight essentially with 1 kill. No reason for Rogue to continue to move forward. They're in a pretty bad position as is, so they're just going to back off of this one, look for a full regroup, but soon going to be picked off very late in this last fight. Just kind of hanging around and unfortunately going to be paying off for EnVyUs.
Well, Wins, fortunately, even though he died as he was dropping the beat, was able to hang on to that ultimate, so they have another opportunity here to engage with it. On the other side, though, lots of ultimates for EnVyUs. Louis on the tactical visor is bound to be a big tool for them. Here comes the Sound Barrier, and we're engaged here. Taimu has the Deadeye. He's not going to trigger just yet. Coco also has an Earthshatter on the cart. Finds only Unko with it, but the pin is actually going to miss. It launches Unko away, but Louis is right there with the Nano Visor to get the follow-up kills. Louis goes down, but Rogue still out of sorts here as Nico gets popped out of the suit. He's not going to be too effective, and Rogue will need to regroup.
And it looks like Nox just going to be taken care of. Does he get to safety as a sliver of HP? Him and Soon, no, he's going to be dropped there by Taimu. Soon's with 7 HP. He should be okay for the time being. But now, with about 2 minutes remaining, Joshy, we're looking at a pretty similar pace in terms of where the payload's at and exactly how much time they have remaining. Overtime compared to potentially overtime for Rogue could be pretty similar here for both these teams. Looking for a pulse bomb from Soon this time around. Something he hasn't done very late as much as of lately, Joshy, is open up the fights with pulse bombs like we saw, especially on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
It just can be difficult. He's got to get in there, and they're so aware of him that they're looking for him constantly, especially Taimu with the McCree. Deadeye is going to be activated here. Will he pull the trigger and find anything? It looks like Rogue are just going to back out for line of sight to avoid that unhappy death. They're going to push forward now with a Graviton Surge here from Mickey. That could really ruin Rogue's day.
Transcendence comes through there, but still the Sound Barrier from Harry Hook going to be able to keep him alive. They find a couple of kills for himself, and I think that's, again, another 1 fight for Team EnVyUs. There's nothing really in the making here for the side of Rogue, as they're just going to be forced all the way back. They did get a pick on Louis, but in the end, doesn't really amount to too much, Joshy. Under 60 seconds left. EnVyUs are a couple of team fights away from taking the lead in this series.
Well, yeah, I think they're going to do it because they've got the ultimates. Graviton Surge is a game ender sometimes, and the fact is that Rogue just doesn't have anything to counter it. There's no Transcendence, no Sound Barrier to keep people alive, so Mickey, he's just got to be ready for the right moment here.
Nox diving up to the top again. Nano Boost is actually going to come through. It's going to be on to Louis here, who's now on that win stand. But Taimu again, picking up 2 kills onto both supports. He's going to find a third one as well. He's just in the back line. They're allowing him to provide such a threat to their team by just not contesting whatsoever, Joshy. 15 seconds remaining. We'll have to see if they even make it back to the payload in time.
I was just watching Mickey the whole time, like, use it. There's so many people. What's wrong with you? But Taimu just went on a murder spree instead. Taimu just lighting up the Rogue offense here. And now they have another opportunity to use that Graviton Surge however they see fit. Mickey can drop it right onto the cart because Rogue can't leave it. Overtime is triggered, and Envy may come away with a win here if they can execute.
Deadeye out there from Taimu, trying to zone him back a bit. There's the Sound Barrier coming out from Wins. Graviton Surge as well. Does the follow-up there. They find the 3 kills. Oh my goodness. It's going to be EnVyUs coming through with the win on Dorado here. There's the GGs coming out here, and they've found themselves with a 2-1 lead here in this best-of-5 series.
It's a slaughter. The Graviton was so on point. Pulse Bomb actually stuck Coco, and he just walked it into the Graviton Surge for even more damage on Soon himself. But the Bionade was right on the money, hit basically everything in there, and suddenly you just see a bunch of health bars. Health bars just go from full to 0 in no time flat. EnVyUs, masterful execution there on the defense in the final stretch when it looked like the game was in terrible shape for them, and Mickey play the match with the Zarya. Has to be that last moment. There it is.
You know, it's just been so back and forth. It's like originally on Watchpoint Gibraltar, we were left wondering, what do you even do against Rogue? They finished out the map with something like 4 minutes and 50 seconds to make a second push. Then they hold EnVyUs short of even getting the first checkpoint. You know, go over to King's Row. It's a lot closer. They take the map. Dorado, it looks like Rogue has the advantage, but EnVyUs storm back into this one, Joshy, and it looks like they have the momentum in their favor. They only need one more map to break that. I believe it's at a 33 win streak right now. Only one more map required to do that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Give or take 1 or 2 series, and Rogue are, you know, stomping out all the NA online competition up to this point. But EnVyUs, this is their kind of NA online tournament debut. They've been in Korea for so long, Apex Season 1 and 2. They're headed back there basically as soon as this tournament wraps up. So we're grateful to have them here with us, and Rogue are definitely not grateful to have them here, potentially putting them away in the grand finals. But Rogue do still have the benefit of that mini bracket reset. Let's say EnVyUs does take Hollywood. They still have to win another BO3 on top of that, as Rogue have not lost a series yet. That is kind of their lifeline going into Hollywood game number 4. But EnVyUs, 6 stuff so far, and they definitely have been coming alive. But Joe, you know, we've seen this before. Selfless have had a 2-1 lead on Rogue in the past, and Rogue have just battled their way right back.
It's definitely possible. This next map is going to be the pick that came out there from EnVyUs, so they have that advantage. The 5th map, should we head to it, is Nepal. A map that I think we've seen Rogue excel on throughout the tournament here. So we'll see if that's going to be the case once again. But nonetheless, still work to be done from both sides here, Joshy, and see if EnVyUs can snap that long streak coming out here from Rogue.
Well, I see all the Pog champs in the chat right now from the ending of that previous game. You guys, we've got at least 2 more games either way you cut it, so you might as well go to Twitter now and let everyone know that this 6th series is really heating up. If EnVyUs win, we go to a bracket reset. If Rogue win, we are definitely forcing a game 5 on Nepal. So Hollywood plus is definitely on the books. So as the compositions kind of show themselves here, I really wonder if Mickey's going to stick with that Torbjorn. He is the trolliest of trolls when it comes to early hero selections, but Torbjorn has had his moments in the past.
We'll see if that's something they want to stick with. Currently, he's got the Lucio up with him, so maybe not. We'll see. It looks like he's actually putting in his turret in a viable position here, so it's definitely something they're going to be looked to doing. But on the other end, you got to wonder what you change up if you're Rogue. You have multiple compositions that seem to be working. Soon on the Tracer is a staple to this composition. Is AKM on the Pharah something you really want to go with, especially with seeing what time he's been able to do against you? He is on the Roadhog this time around, but Louis on the 76 has been a potent threat for EnVyUs as well.
It looks like they're guessing that Taimu's going to be back to the Hog. I think that's pretty much the only way you can cut it. If McCree is there, AKM obviously switches, but in the event of Taimu being on the Roadhog, it still makes sense to run it. And Louis and Mickey could actually be good, effective anti-Pharah units here. But the Torbjorn turret from Mickey is going to generate his ult up to about 15% before it gets dispatched. So not the worst little gain in the world, as he can just plant it right back on the point. Wins is going to get credit for that killing blow. So now they're going to get a look at what they're facing here. They're full dive, so just trying to coordinate their options now.
The decent percentage to get up to, still sitting at 30% now, but AKM going to be taken down by Chips and on a pick. Usually you don't see that since the nerf of the damage, but definitely coming in big there. Picking up the kill onto the Pharah. Nico as well going to be taken down. A terrific start right away here for EnVyUs.
Easy hook combo for Taimu to take out that Genji, and suddenly Rogue, they're going to miss out on the 1-minute capture that they're big fans of, but AKM does get an extremely long-range kill into security there onto Chips. So 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Rogue have a slight window of opportunity here for a 65. They're going to take it and jump right onto Taimu with the Orb of Discord.
No reason not to at this point. Taimu going to be taken down here. They have the numbers advantage big time. 6 on 4. They just shred through them as a collective unit. Joshy Coco is on the point. Louis up top trying to drop down to contest. He's going to die with the rest of the team. Didn't take him a minute, Josh. It took him just a little bit longer, but it will be Rogue securing the checkpoint right away here.
What a way to lose the Ana. Super long-range Pharah rocket just opens the door, and Rogue stomp right on in. The Orb of Discord plus dive on Taimu meant he had no chance. He even stopped to take a breather just to try to save himself, but he was essentially just a sitting duck there, and the rest of the dominoes fell. Rogue are going to get the doors open here with 5 minutes for the second stretch. Soon as a pulse bomb loaded up, he's already up in the face of the defenders. Nico and Nox are going to join him now, but it's really just a matter of which tank soon decides to drop a pulse bomb on. Coco goes down before he even needs it.
And it looks like Taimu made a change over to the Creep, trying to get on top of the Pharah. There's a pulse bomb coming out from Soon. He finds an opening pick there onto Chips Iron. That's a nice start for these guys. And of course, AKM, I had to mention, he went over to the Soldier 76 in anticipation of the McCree here. So obviously working out pretty well. Taimu going to be taken care of by Unco and Soon. And just like that, Rogue are continuing with their trend of dominance here on Hollywood.
couple of ultimates available as well. They're able to get the kills without having to commit everything, and that's always a nice benefit as you can rotate those ultimates. Taimu on the McCree now to try and deal with that Pharah that's gone. AKM is going to be on the Soldier, but Taimu's still effective at shutting down Soon and Nico earlier on, so it still makes sense to switch, in my opinion. The Hog was just not getting it done compared to the rest of Rogue just powering through him. So here comes the Dragon Blade from Nico. Early cut down on Taimu gives them a great advantage, and there's Mickey. Chips also falling. Nico with the triple kill when all is said and done.
Well, we went back to watch point Gibraltar here, at least for Rogue on offense, Joshy. They are powering through the defense, or lack thereof, I guess you could say, for EnVyUs. And you got to wonder, I would honestly put Louis back on the Roadhog right now. Louis did a terrific job of denying the pressure from Soon earlier on that Roadhog, and that's something that they're still struggling with right now. Soon is being uncontested here on the Tracer.
Still 5 minutes left in the final stretch. Rogue, of course, are pressing their advantage, moving forward, trying to catch any early showing from the defense, but Mickey is going to be the first one down. Wins is going to respawn right next door on the Lucio, so that's not too big of a loss. Taimu does find Soon, and really, Rogue just need to regroup here. They're losing everybody, but they're safe enough. The fact that they got the checkpoint there, they can just hop right out of spawn and take a fresh battle.
The resistance was it was going to happen at some point in time here. We'll have to see if they want to actually make any changes. It's very doubtful, at least for the offense from Rogue. For the defense, though, they're going to keep Taimu on the McCree and Louis on that Tracer. So feeling pretty comfortable with that one. We'll see if Louis can match the pressure we're seeing here from Soon, who has a pulse bomb after ready, looking to open up the fight with the pulse bomb. He gets the kill onto Coco to get things underway, Joshy.
With that pulse bomb kill, obviously missing that Rhine barrier is going to be a huge deal, as Nico has plenty more room to fire. AKM has lots of room. Sound barrier's out on both sides now as both Tracers are removed from the fight. Mickey getting powered down very quickly, but he has the nano boost just in time to save his life, and he's going to continue pushing out that damage. Still kills adding up on both sides. AKM trying to do his best here as Soldier is able to pump out a bunch of damage uncontested. Now he's got the tac visor ready to go for the next push. Coco has an Earth Shatter, but he needs to be conservative with it. Definitely don't want to waste that one as a limited tool here on the defense. Mickey switching over to Zarya as well.
Well, they did kind of waste that Dragon Blade Nico on the D.Va here because it didn't really pan out for him too well. So we'll see what kind of an impact he's going to be able to make here on this pick for themselves, as they do look for the high ground. Actually going to knock Taimu off the high ground. That was their biggest aim here. There's a pulse bomb out there. Earth Shatter comes down from Coco. Is he going to be able to follow through with a charge? Transcendence as Uncle gets back up off of that Earth Shatter and looking to support his team. Tac visor now from AKM. He's looking to come around with a couple of kills for himself. Picks up 2, and the rest of EnVyUs seems to be doomed at this point, Joshy.
Wow, Mickey had a nice little ambush on the card itself, but as the rest of that was going on, he was unable to actually find any kills. We've got Soon taking out Louis, and no one can even touch the card. That is a very swift push on Hollywood. 3 minutes and 1 second left for extra rounds. We'll flip sides and see if EnVyUs can match it.
That's about as close as it gets there in terms of dominance from the side of Rogue. 301 completing the map. 301 in time bank. That is a lot of time, Joshy, and a lot of that I feel like is again off of what Soon has been able to do on the Tracer, and I think Unco as well, matching that damage output that he was putting through there with the Zenyatta. And that's the Rogue we're used to seeing. EnVyUs not really able to get a grip on that. Would have liked to see again that change from Louis over to the Roadhog, and it looks like that might be something they want to go with here on offense.
Louis was doing pretty solid earlier trying to shut down Soon, so I still like the pick. On offense, it can be a little bit different, as Soon is going to be going toward your backline more often. Roadhog will need to basically stay with Chips and Harry as much as it can to be able to prevent those supports dying off, but it's going to be just full dive defense again, everyone on their comfy heroes, and on the other side, EnVyUs, if they do in fact leave with this setup, Taimu on the McCree has been a great asset as well. So I think in that last defense, they really just struggled from not getting any ult efficiency. Rogue were just in their faces so often whenever a checkpoint would be secured that they just never had the freedom to kind of group up and get the angles that they wanted. They had one hold right at the beginning of the third stretch that could have been a nice snowball for them, but Rogue were able to just infiltrate, get the job done with their ultimates, and here we are with 3 minutes still left on the clock.
Yeah, there actually was one hold at the start of the match as well on point A before, like we had seen, I believe it was AKM on the Pharah that came through with the pick into the security, like you had said, onto Chips High, and then they followed through with that one. There was no second point defense at all. No second checkpoint, because it was all Soon and Unco up in their phases along with Nico, denying them out of the base, finding picks for themselves. There was a team fight, but no resistance whatsoever from EnVyUs. So they're going to have to try to match that if they want to get remotely close to a 301 time.
Well, there's no Pharah in play here. If they get a long-range kill, it's going to have to be a Zarya bomb or a Fire Strike or Taimu with some mitigated damage. McCree shots. AKM finds the first kill with a Helix Rocket. Are you kidding me? 2 kills in the first couple of seconds here.
They don't even see them up there. That's the scary part if you're EnVyUs. They are on the point right now, but they've got the dive comp, they've got the quickness to be able to get back in time before even a checkpoint or a point on that is going to confirm for themselves. They're in an impossible situation, like a 3-on-5 at this point. They ended up losing 1 in the end, Joshy, but again, it's going to be Rogue buying themselves a little bit more time with that.
What an awesome ambush. I've seen Rogue do this actually on different control maps pretty often where they'll lie in wait for the returning team, but I haven't actually seen that aggressive defense out of them played in that manner. And the fact is, AKM just deadly precise with the Helix Rocket, able to buy them tons of time here. That's already a minute burned off the clock, and EnVyUs are no closer to their ults really than when they started.
I think if you want to match 301, you've got to get something going now if you're EnVyUs, because that's about the time that we saw come through. It's about like a minute 15. Point A capture from Rogue here, so they're looking to move in here. No ultimates to really work with. There's a hook missing though from Louis, as we do see Nox into the backline along with Soon, and that's the threat. That's where you need to keep someone. They're trying to make sure that it's Taimu that can get the job done, but in the end it looks like it's going to be Soon coming through with the kills for his team. And again, they lose a couple of guys, Joshy, but Rogue holding on strong.
I said AKM had to have a big game if Soon and Nico were going to be focused by the Roadhog and the McCree, and AKM is doing exactly what he needs to. Already has a tactical visor prepared, 90 seconds, already unsuccessful here for EnVyUs, and they haven't made any switches just yet. They are still trying to build up those ults. Harry Hook will eventually get a sound barrier to try to get them in the door here, but Rogue have just been phenomenal so far. Unko eats a biotic grenade, but just takes LOS for the time being to stay healthy, and there's lots of ults here from Rogue. They should be able to deflect this no problem, but EnVyUs, they have a way of finding some kills here. Taimu can just land a couple of headshots and switch the tide of battle quickly.
Looking for Nico with the Dragon Blade here, looking to dive up there if possible. Oh, Nox actually, is he going to be taken down? Pulse Bomb's out there soon, starts the fight again, opening up with the pick there, and this should be just free pickings here for the side of Rogue, who are just going to be able to collapse upon that Joshy and buy themselves even more time. 1:45 remaining. EnVyUs really struggling to get a grip here on offense.
AKM up to about 75 final blows so far here on Hollywood. He's having a phenomenal game, especially here on the defense. Taimu can't get close enough to do anything to him, but we do have the Rogue and EnVyUs ultimates adding up on both sides here. Expect some fireworks on this one. Harry Hook very likely going to engage with the sound barrier, as there's no CC ultimates over on the other side. Once they march onto the point, here we go. Rogue is going to have to react to this.
Don't have to worry about a pulse bomb. Thankfully, if you are EnVyUs, there's an Earth Shadow coming out from Coco. Sound barrier out from both sides as well. Oh, Coco lands the charge into Nico. Nico didn't even have the opportunity to use the Dragon Blade, as AKM was taken down as well with no nano boost, or excuse me, no tactical visor to be able to come through from him. And finally, EnVyUs clean this fight up. Just need to take care of Nox, and they will be able to come through with it with about 50-ish seconds remaining, Joshy.
That was a very interesting push. Obviously, Rogue knew that the ultimates were going to be coming in. They knew that the tanks were going to be kind of sticking together there, and the death ball method actually worked out because Rogue let them get onto the point long enough for that sound barrier to be triggered. So with all those tanks and high health, Taimu also being able to land some shots, it was just a done deal. And Rogue didn't actually use their ultimates to try and fend it off. So we're going to enter the streets phase still with a Dragon Blade, Pulse Bomb, and Tactical Visor ready for Rogue. They did not get staggered at all. They're all here and ready to battle on the cart.
Nico hasn't used the Dragon Blade since he's actually had it, I believe, and AKM, if I'm not mistaken. So Nico actually dropped down there, got hooked in, and then Taimu follows through with that kill for himself. So this is looking like another opportunity for them to pressure this on the offensive end of things, as Nox going to be taken down. He dives onto the payload. The rest of Rogue going to be forced off of this one. 2:35 isn't a lot of time to work with, and I don't think compared to 3:01 that Rogue have a whole lot to worry about, but I still think they're going to have to put up some sort of a defense if they want to hold them short of that third checkpoint.
Nano McCree, maybe? Nano Whole Hog should be a really big combo if they actually use it with the Graviton Surge. Actually, with or without the Graviton Surge. EnVyUs do have a lot of tools to work with, though. Taimu is going to trigger the Deadeye from up on the high ground, but has no one to really shoot at. AKM found the first kill onto Louis, so that will actually slow down EnVyUs' push here.
And we'll have to see. I don't expect they'll use their ultimates again, Joshy, because they came through with that opening pick. There's no reason in that 6-on-5 to drop the big ults like the like that Dragon Blade or the Tactical Visor. Pulse Bomb maybe, but soon now gonna look to open up another fight with the Pulse Bomb kill if he can find a stick here.
Look at all these ultimates adding up from Rogue. They still have the Tactical Visor and Dragon Blade from the point A defense. They're just hanging on to it for the perfect moment because they keep getting these early picks, and Taimu's Deadeye, unable to find anything, is going to remove that option. Mickey still has the Graviton Surge plus Earthshatter plus Whole Hog if they want to commit absolutely everything. We've seen that actually fail in the past if you don't hit absolutely everyone. Selfless managed to survive that same combo. Pulse Bomb from Soon, right as rain. Right onto Harry Hook. Easy start for Rogue.
Mickey, unfortunately, had thought that hit Coco, so he used the projected barrier onto the tank rather than Harry Hook. That could have been a completely different fight had that not happened, but Taimu on the other end, way back towards the spawn, picks up 2 kills for himself onto Nico and Soon, so maybe, honestly, that spawn isn't too far for either of those two from Soon and Nico, and they're pretty quick to get back, so they should be able to get a full 6-on-6 here.
They know AKM's up on the high ground. You can see Mickey actually lobbing some Zarya bombs all the way over to him, and Rogue is going to actually have Nico and Nox join him just to keep him much safer. But lots of ults available. Graviton Surge plus Transcendence are going to be the first ones out. Nano Whole Hog from Louis is going to start moving them around a little bit, but Unko will survive for a brief time before going down. Nico's going to use his Dragon Blade, takes out Taimu. Harry Hook also down. Earthshatter here from Coco sends Nox away from the cart itself, but Nox and AKM finding kills before. That means they will actually hang on to the cart. Only 28 seconds left now for EnVyUs. They need some miracle here, I think, to be able to reach his second checkpoint.
Dude, that fight was won because of Wins. Wins with the clutch sound barrier there keeps his Nox alive there. Mid charge coming out from Coco, and the rest of his team able to hold on through, I believe, a lot of the damage coming out there as well on the side of EnVyUs. So still pretty solid sound barrier coming out there, and Taimu going to be taken down. Soon ready to go with the Pulse Bomb. Do they even make it back in time? Pulse Bomb lob from Soon. Misses wide right there. That's unfortunate, but we're going to be in overtime. No ults to work from either team, but Nico coming through with 2 dashes. He gets 2 kills, and this should be an easy cleanup for Rogue as they will force this to a game number 5 on Nepal, Joshi.
Oh, man. Are we going to get a game 5, round 5 to decide this one? It's looking like it's a possibility here, as it's just every map so much favored to the other side. It was all Rogue on Gibraltar, all EnVyUs on King's Road. Dorado is actually our closest map, with both teams actually reaching the final stretch and only one team completing it. But again, Hollywood looks one-sided, and this was EnVyUs's pick. So we keep bouncing back and forth here, and we're headed to Nepal as game 5.
I don't. Everything is lost on me between these two teams in this series. I mean, this is completely insane what's been happening between these two teams. It's either Rogue absolutely just destroying EnVyUs like we saw in Gibraltar and here on Hollywood, or it's EnVyUs kind of making it a close game against Rogue and then they come out on top. So it's either close or just, you know, a dominant performance from Rogue. Going to Nepal, though, not really sure what to expect. It's been back and forth between both teams. And there's a possibility, Joshi, that we head to another best of 3. So a potential 4 more maps could be played tonight.
Well, Rogue certainly don't want that to be the case. They are going to play their hearts out here on Nepal. And like you said, they've really done a great job on it so far. We know that they haven't lost on Nepal this tournament because the only map they did lose was to Rise Nation before this grand final, and that was a payload map. So Nepal is going to be the choice here. We saw EnVyUs actually take out Selfless in the semifinals here. So perhaps they will have a nice run of things. But Rogue, of course, they didn't get here by being a pushover. So we're going to have a very explosive up to 5 rounds on Nepal to determine if that extra set is necessary.
We'll see if that's going to be the case. Potentially the final map of the evening, guys. Should Rogue be able to take this one and crown themselves the victors? Otherwise, it will be another best of 3 being played to determine the reset of that grand final to see who comes out on top. But not expecting anything too crazy here from either two teams. The real question is, what does Taimu want to do with Louis? Because those are the 2 players who seem to be switching it up a bit. Mickey is well back to Zarya, but don't expect him to be making too many changes. Does Taimu want to go with that McCree again? Do they want to put Louis on the Roadhog or the Tracer?
Well, we've got 30 seconds for them to figure it out. I think that McCree plus Hog was actually working the best for them still. I mean, the Hollywood map didn't go their way, but I think that does give them the best odds of actually competing here. AKM, unfortunately, is allowed to have so much room if you're focused on the Tracer and the Genji so much. But right now, EnVyUs are in a position to try to be the first series win against Rogue this year. Can they do it, Joe? Doors are opening now. The compositions look pretty similar to what we've seen already, and Rogue are going to be running that full dive again.
I'm expecting Rogue to take this if I had to be asked the question who is going to win this one, but I would not be surprised to see this go to a round 5, Joshi. This has been so intense between both these teams here. as opposed to the winner's bracket final, which was an easy 2-0 for Rogue. But EnVyUs really came to play here this time around as they do put Louis on that Tracer and keep Taimu on the McCree for the picks.
As we get the fight underway, Taimu's going to find a headshot onto Nico. That's a great start for EnVyUs here with no ultimates available. That McCree can be super deadly, and usually it's the Roadhogs you see finding those early picks, but there's no Roadhog in play here. So Taimu happily, there's another headshot kill onto Soon. He's been doing that reliably all series long, and EnVyUs will grab the point first.
Louis as well, providing a lot of threat on that Tracer pick, able to just come around the side and just damage down the supports there. Him and Taimu really tearing it up here for EnVyUs to get the first round started, as it looks like he does have a bit of an edge in terms of ult charge, as Nico now going to be on that Diva pick. We'll see what he's able to make of this one.
In just a moment, Rogue will be pushed all the way up in here. Runko falling down to about 2 HP. Louis does secure the kill in the end. So again, EnVyUs off to a hot start. Chips is going to fall extremely low, but still manages to stay alive at about 2 HP. Taimu also getting extremely low. Does fall to wins, but EnVyUs still have the body count on the point to retain it. Soon is going to get taken out by Mickey elsewhere, and Louis still trying to power down that Lucio if he can, but Wins is going to be able to escape.
Yeah, good support coming out there from Nico, able to make sure Wins gets out alive and isn't taken down too late there. I feel like a lot of this is Soon hasn't been able to get the pressure he wants to apply. This is such an enclosed area. Everybody can just kind of stick together. There's an Earth Shatter coming out though from Coco. It connects onto a couple of them as we do see the pulse bomb out from Louis. Not able to really find anything, but in the end, numbers advantage is pretty even here. AKM has a tactical visor if he wants to drop it, but not in the best position to do so, Joshy. And again, it's going to be EnVyUs holding on strong.
Taimu's really good at shooting the Tracer as he finds Soon once again over the course of that fight. He's got a Deadeye ready for this next battle, and Rogue are still up here despite losing their Zenyatta. They will need to back off. Nox not too eager to jump in without that Harmony Orb available, so 75% for Envy already gathered up here, and if they bounce Rogue away one more time, they could actually secure this first stage.
Deadeye from Taimu to get things started, just trying to back him off, see if anyone wants to poke their head around, which is ultimately going to make it come down to one final fight. Ultimates in favor here of the side of Rogue. AKM gonna have that nano boost, or excuse me, attack visor at the ready here, but no targets actually to drop it on. No kills in the bag just yet. Again, Soon gonna be taken out. No, AKM hit off the map there by Mickey with the Primal Rage. Both DPS threats coming out on the side of Rogue are out of this fight, Joshy.
AKM down and overtime triggered means Rogue are not going to have a fun time, losing both supports there as well. The Diva Suit flies out for good measure and does actually get a kill. Nico finds Chips, but that's a little bit of a desperation play. The Primal Rage here from Nox still surviving somehow. Extremely low health, eventually goes down. Nico will be close enough to get a foot onto the point again, so they need to deal with that Diva Suit. He actually takes out Mickey as well, and Taimu's down already, so Rogue's still trying to battle back here.
Have an opportunity, especially since AKM is just now dropping his sights. There's an Earth Shadow coming out from Coco. No follow-up, unfortunately, but AKM has no targets to hit with that tactical visor, Joshy. No value whatsoever off that. Nico as well is still out of the mech. They have an opportunity to do something, though. Harry Hook only hits himself and Mickey with the sound barrier, but they get a couple of kills. They use the nano boost here, and I think EnVyUs have the first round in the bag.
With the sound barrier and the nano boost, it ended up being just enough damage. Louis also finding the squishier targets in the back there. Soon unable to get back to the point in time. That's going to be Shrine all done and dusted. We'll be moving on to another stage in just a moment, but EnVyUs, wow, they are coming extremely close here, Joe, to being the first to actually snap this incredibly long streak. And if you recall, EnVyUs had an extremely long streak of their own, so they were trying to protect their own history here.
And so did Selfless, a team that was on the verge of taking down Rogue multiple times, 4 times in 4 best-of-5s, but just weren't able to do it. Probably watching this game, wondering if EnVyUs can be the team to get that job done, as it looks like AKM moving back over to the Pharah here and to see what they can get done within the skies. But Taimu expecting that one, they're just going to stick with him on the McCree because it has done so well for EnVyUs.
As the doors open, AKM's Pharah could land a long-range rocket. He doesn't have a Mercy boost to help him out like we saw Taimu earlier, finding a kill against Sinatra in the previous series, but in this case, it's going to be the red team EnVyUs looping around the side toward the point, forcing Rogue to come to them, and still no kills just yet. Taimu's going to be the first casualty. Unko and Wins falling extremely low, though. Can they survive? Louis also rewinds from about 2 HP to save himself, but this is still anyone's battle here.
Still Louis trying to mess around here with AKM. AKM barely getting to safety. Is it enough, though? He's running all the way back. Him and Nox are way back here looking for health packs. They do take care of business onto Louis. Eventually, AKM got the support he needed. Now Soon is starting to pick up some kills here, and that looks like Rogue do manage to put this one in their favor and come up with their first points in round number 2.
Also pretty close to some ultimates there as well. Soon very close to the Pulse Bomb. Nico very close to the Diva Suit explosion, but we've got almost nothing here for EnVyUs just yet. Losing that first fight can have some momentum issues here. They're going to try to walk through the middle point, but AKM already observed it. He's able to call it out to his team, and Nox is already there to greet them as the Winston. The point itself is being contested, but Nico bounces back to make sure they don't backcap.
Looking for Soon with the Pulse Bomb again, but this time around, Taimu finds the first kill onto AKM. That's a good start for these guys to get rid of that air threat, but no, it's going to be the pounce coming out there from Nox. He is under a lot of pressure, though. Soon, still no target to be able to drop the Pulse Bomb onto, and it looks like the rest of EnVyUs take quick care of this, Joshy, and are going to be able to come through with their first points here.
EnVyUs looking solid. Louis is as good as ever here. They actually even managed to kill Diva before this. Oh, actually, way after is a staggered kill there. And Nico with the headshot is going to have to head back to spawn. Rogue going to lose a lot of time as a result. But Soon has the Pulse Bomb. Nico with the self-destruct still. Wins has a sound barrier to engage with. Harry Hook not quite there yet, but lots of other ultimates for EnVyUs as they reclaim the point. They're looking to hang on to it for this next fight.
Well, AKM made a change over to the 76 here. There's the first kill. Louis tried to get something with the Pulse Bomb. Nice stick coming out there from Soon. Is able to land it onto Coco, but is it enough to get anything done? As we do see a nano boost onto Mickey. Sound barrier out there as well from Wins, trying to keep this team alive for the most part, but still no kills coming through. There's an Earth Shadow coming from Coco, but Coco going to be taken down, and it looks like the rest of Rogue might have an opportunity to clean this up.
I feel bad for Coco on that one because that was about as good of an ultimate as you're going to get as a Reinhardt on a control map, but he did not have any follow-up as the rest of his team was scattered and fighting at the moment. So it's going to be Rogue reclaiming it here. 52%, not too bad for the first stretch on EnVyUs's record here, as Taimu is going to have the Deadeye available. He does not want to be the first one out this door, I can tell you that.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to be able to do that one. So he's now going to come out there. Nice bio grenade connects from Unko, though, and they knock him back up into the base. Nico at the forefront trying to put that defense matrix up, so no value whatsoever off of that Deadeye to get this one started.
Coco pushing forward with the shield. Sound barrier in the... Oh, excuse me. Pulse Bomb catching two. Not the sound barrier at all. A Pulse Bomb is the opposite. Harry Hook has no time to react for a sound barrier and soon finds 3 kills in rapid succession. That is going to be Rogue hanging on once again. Wins even getting on the board a couple of times there, but 75% and climbing means if they can deflect Envy just one more time, they're looking pretty to extend this Nepal to at least a 4th point. But EnVyUs, what do they have to work with? It's just a sound barrier. Coco pretty close to an Earth Shatter, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's Harry Hook saw that Pulse Bomb coming from a mile away. They knew he was going to open up with that one just a little too late, unfortunately, for himself. But there's another nice bio grenade connecting from Unko. AKM under a lot of heat, though. Can he keep himself up to be able to use the tactical visor? He doesn't get the nano boost because Unko was taken down there by Mickey, and Primal Rage out from Nox. They want to push this into overtime. We are going to hit overtime, Joshy, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to survive this one.
There's the shatter from Coco, but it's right into the Winston bubble. So it's not going to matter, actually, anyway, because EnVyUs clean out the house anyway. Coco and Mickey both combining for lots of damage there, and Rogue suddenly have to bounce back, but if they can just do it one time, they'll be fine, and they've got 5 ults to do it with here, so EnVyUs need to brace for impact as Rogue return.
Still so many to work with, like you had just mentioned, but soon getting picked off early by the Fire Strike, giving him a taste of his own medicine of coming through with the first kills, Joshy. So still has a Pulse Bomb, but EnVyUs with that kill have certainly forced us down to one final team fight. I think a lot of this is up to whether or not AKM can come through clutch here with the tactical visor.
Any moment, they'll be making their entry. Nico gonna initiate with the self-destruct. I normally don't like it, but it does scatter the defense. Pulse Bomb goes out onto Coco, but he actually survives it. Louis gonna be the first one down here to the nano boost attack visor from AKM. Taimu gets put to sleep, but woken right back up. So it's gonna be still Rogue's advantage as they find 3 kills and flip the point back. 99% to them, 98 for Envy. Means if Rogue can just kill off this last Primal Rage Mickey, and they do. There's Coco trying to touch the point. He can't even do it. Nice boop from Nico to keep him off.
Too many resources were dedicated to dealing with AKM there. I mean, they put like 3 people on him. He had a nano boost out there, of course, but there was just the rest of his of Rogue just came through and cleaned that one up. I think they had 3 people surviving on the point against just Coco. Like you had seen, got kind of knocked off the point from Nico using the jet there, able to kind of boop him off. So tying this one up, Nepal 1-1, Joshy. It's certainly safe to say this is on its way to going to a round number 5 if these teams can keep it up like this.
Well, they are, of course, incredibly evenly matched just to be able to bring it to a Game 5 like this. And the fact that they're 1-1 already on Nepal means it's still wide open. EnVyUs will have a little bit of a higher climb for them if they manage to actually dispatch Rogue in this first series. Don't forget, guys, the winner's bracket advantage allows Rogue to have a bracket reset if they lose. So there will be a BO3 series after this one if EnVy come out on top.
Still a lot of work to be done here. Mickey going to be breaking out that Orisa again. We saw this from them yesterday. It worked out so well for him on this point. I don't think they lost on this point, I believe. But still, he's going to be taken down. Unko with the deep range threat there on the Zenyatta. Nice Discord coming out onto Coco as well. He's going to be dropped here. And just like that, going to lay the Orisa to rest. We'll have to see if Mickey wants to stick with that pick. Looks like that's going to be the case despite falling pretty early there.
Yeah, with Wins out of the picture and Nico still having to come back from spawn, it's going to be Rogue grabbing the point first, but it's kind of an open territory here. If EnVyUs get back quickly enough, they can hop on, and there is Harry Hook trying to get it started. Nox is lurking right around the corner, though. Of course, he'll be able to contest when needed, but Soon's already in the mix, trying to fend them off. Mickey on the Orisa uses his Fortify, but still goes down to AKM in the end thanks to the Discord Orb. Coco nearly gets booped off, but just barely finds his footing. Louis getting a couple of kills from long range onto the point, but Rogue is still piling up that percentage.
Especially since AKM has attack visor if he wants to use it. I don't think that's going to be necessary, though. He's actually going to go ahead and drop it here. They've got 3 of them on the point. They get the flip mid-fight, but it's so dangerous right now. Time, you're going to be taken down. The charge from Coco, not going to be able to find anything, and the tactical visor pays off in the end. The halt, though, brings down AKM from Mickey, but Mickey's taken down as well, so in the end, it doesn't seem to matter, Joshy.
All right, it's time to give Unko some credit. This series, he's actually been playing a monstrous Zenyatta. Whenever he's on it, it feels like they have a second Soldier 76, as he can actually just Discord Orb and launch projectiles from all the way across the point. He actually got 2 killing blows in that last fight. So having the offensive support certainly helps out for Rogue, as they're up to 50% now. EnVyUs trying to get in here. Here's the Transcendence from Unko. Nico also going to commit the Dragon Blade. Starts swiping, but the Sound Barrier going to slow him down quite a bit. And the Nano Visor here from Louis going to shut that down completely. Mickey getting on the board a couple of times there. He's going to allow EnVyUs to reclaim the point. 60% is all that Rogue can muster.
That was big. Harry Hook coming through with a big sound barrier to keep him alive through the Dragon Blade. And then, of course, Lou with the Nano Visor kind of forcing him back. Now, Nico moving over to a Diva as opposed to playing that Genji, feeling that he needs to deny some of that damage from Louis and Taimu, especially given that double hit scan. We'll have to see how it fares for him, as Mickey already diving into the back here, looking for some threat, but it's AKM around the side. He's under a lot of pressure, might actually be taken down. What? It's going to be the case. Mickey somehow coming through with that kill onto him.
Primal Rage Winston just smacked Louis into the air, and Louis, instead of going to the point, actually made it all the way to the ledge. This time, Taimu gets smacked off into the void. He's not going to survive that fall, and EnVyUs are down several people here. It's still a 3v3 on the point, but the sound barrier coming out from Wins should give them the advantage as Anna goes down. Harry Hook is going to be focused next. Orb of Discord, a powerful tool here when you don't have many players in the fight. Coco going to get drilled in the back there by Nico. As he goes down, so does Mickey, and Rogue will reclaim it.
Another big Earth Shatter from Coco, but there's no one there to follow up off of that one. I really would have liked to see him hold on to that for the next team fight, because the next team fight, Joshy, might be the final one of this round, especially since AKM has a tactical visor to work with. Deadeye to get things started, though, from Taimu.
Deadeye is going to be so difficult to use. Taimu actually gets I think limited when he actually uses the Deadeye. He should just be popping heads off instead, but at this point, Soon is going to take out Louis. Coco falls as well, and Rogue once again have the advantage. Pulse Bomb goes off from Soon, doesn't find a target, but it's okay because there's no one from EnVyUs left to stick.
And Joshy, they still have that Transcendence and Tactical Visor, and Primal Rage should be able to knock him out if Nox can get up to it in time. They've got 5 seconds to contest. Taimu on the Tracer here should be able to do it, maybe along with Louis. Louis, his attack visor, he's immediately shut down. They don't even get back in time, and just like that, Rogue securing round number 3. We are at match point, or I guess you could say round point, to Rogue taking the entire tournament.
Louis tried his darndest. He was being sneaky while the rest of EnVyUs went to the left side. Louis went to the right, very nearly made it back to the point, but of course Rogue were aware of that possibility, and they shut him down just in time to prevent that overtime from stretching. So it's going to be a 2-1 lead for Rogue. We're back on the shrine here. I think that EnVyUs, even though they're keeping it very close, this is do or die time. They are facing elimination from the tournament in second place. Rogue are looking to seal the deal and keep that streak alive, as well as taking another tournament victory. Just to recap for you guys, they took first place this year in Alienware Monthly Melee February, Alienware Monthly Melee March, Alienware Monthly Melee April, and the Overwatch Pit Championship. So they are unstoppable. EnVy have a chance to stop them for good, but it's all hinging on this shrine.
It is, and now Louis on the Tracer. Not a good start. It's AKM with the Helix and Nox with the follow-up. with this cannon. They're able to secure the kill. They should be able to follow through with the first points again, getting off to a terrific start here for the side of Rogue.
Nico with a double kill. That's a rarity for the Rogue D.Va when everyone else on your team is such a killer. D.Va very rarely actually gets to land any of those killing blows, usually just playing point protection there for his supports. But in this case, Rogue are going to grab the point first. Taimu is on the McCree. They have shown their best results with that so far, but Louis on the Tracer hasn't really been keeping up with Soon so much, and that can be a bit of a hindrance here as EnVyUs march right back on the point. Coco gets surrounded. His team was not there with him.
And Soon providing that threat that he is so well known for here. Harry Hook going to be taken down, so is Chips. Or at least they should be able to secure the kills. Taimu not really coming through with the kills onto Soon like he needs to be at this point. And Rogue are just steamrolling EnVyUs right now. Mickey, such a late pickup onto him. And they're going to have a lot to work with as well for the next fight, Joshy.
Nepal appears to be Rogue's turf. They're not letting it go lightly. 36% and climbing. EnVyUs. All right, what can they do? Coco's Earth Shatters have been kind of off and on so far. He's hit up to 3 or 4 people in the past, but it's going to be vital that he makes the connection on this one, especially when Nox is the only barrier available for the side of Rogue. But as the engagement starts, there is a Primal Rage used by Mickey. Coco uses the Earth Shatter, but still no kills for EnVyUs just yet. As the bodies start to pile up, EnVyUs are in the advantage. A Fire Strike actually clips AKM and Unko both, and there goes EnVyUs actually tipping the scales, going to flip it back almost certainly.
And Taimu now on the Roadhog, I think, paying off a little bit, adding a little bit more damage than he was able to provide before on the McCree. A little bit more sustained damage, I guess you could say. But they want to hold on to this as long as they can, Joshy. We'll have to see if they want to drop any ultimates. I doubt that's going to be the case as AKM's on the point right now. They want to push it up to 99% if they can. Wins is now skipping around. They don't even see him in the back right now. Louis is going to be able to spot him. He boots him off. Finally, Wins will be taken down. Winston in the area. They get up to 83% off of that.
Well, Rogue at this point, they can just run or die. It doesn't even matter. Like, the fact that they just had Winds die means they need to wait for him anyway, so Nox is going to respawn with him in just a moment, and they still have many ults here. The Nano Visor combo plus Sound Barrier is a potential game ender, and over on the other side, they have a Nano Boost, but no Visor to combo it with, so it's going to be interesting to see who they actually give the juice to. Coco has the Earth Shatter potential to try to negate some ultimates. Soon as the first one in, Pulse Bomb lands on Coco.
Oh my goodness, Mickey going to be taken down. They do hook him, but the Sound Barrier coming out from Winds keeps him alive, Joshy. There's the self-destruct, picks up 2 kills. Like you said, that's just a boom for the side of Rogue right here, who should be able to flip the point back in their favor. Thankfully, EnVyUs do have one final opportunity to get back, but I think it's going to be staggered at that.
Pulse bombs, self-destructs, and nano boosts. Oh my, EnVyUs can't deal with it. They get crumpled. 36% is all they managed to gain before flipping back to Rogue, and they are in the final approach here. They have no ults to work with. Mickey and Taimu getting close, but Mickey might get burned down before he even gets to trigger it. What a miracle. He actually got the extra 1,000 HP there before going down. Taimu gonna use the whole hog here. He's looking around for some targets. AKM plants the Helix Rocket right onto Louis' Tracer though, and Rogue still have the man advantage.
Oh, but it's Soon coming through again with another Pulse Bomb. He cleans up the shop here. Coco taken down. AKM finds the kill. Self-destruct out. Should secure it. And Rogue grabbing the 3-1. That's going to be the tournament going to them. Incredible performance from both teams. But Rogue continuing with their dominance in North America.
So that's 3 Alienware Monthly Melees, a Pit Championship, and now the $10,000 Rivalcade Overwatch Rumble going the way of Rogue. Just proving that no one can mess with the best for the time being. And Rogue, they got to feel confident going to Korea in the coming weeks here. EnVyUs, you know, they have Louis. It's a new piece in the puzzle here, so you can't really fault them too much, but they brought Rogue to the brink and just barely fell short. So Rogue collecting another $6,000 for themselves in the process before heading off to Korea has to feel good for them.
Hell of a performance from both teams. And that's honestly, with both teams going to Korea, that's how you want to see those teams performing in America. You want to see the #1 and #2 clearly proving themselves today, despite faltering a little bit. You know, I believe Selfless a close third in there, especially with dealing with Envy. That was a close one for him. But Rogue, terrific series all day long, all tournament long. Congrats to them for taking the tournament.
All right, guys, that actually will wrap things up. So we're going to give the final shout-outs here to the sponsors, DX Racer and Razer. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event and allowing us to have our first big event here on Rivalcade. If you're unfamiliar with this Twitch channel, Live the Battle, and you've this is the first time you're here for many of you, we do weekly tournaments every single Tuesday for North America and Europe, $500 prize pools for the last several months. So please, we do appreciate it if you would follow the channel and follow Live the Battle on Twitter as well, as we will be throwing more and more events over the course of the year. And it's just a wonderful time every time. We've had some really good teams come through, like Kangarna making back-to-back appearances, eventually becoming most of Splice. We had Bird Noises becoming LG Evil, actually as a regular in the tournament. Selfless won back-to-back events before really starting their rise to prominence. And it could be your team next if you choose to compete. They're just open tournaments every week. So that's all the sponsors here. Storm, wonderful casting, of course, for the qualifiers and groups, as well as today's playoffs. Where can they find you when you're not casting here on Live the Battle?
Well, I'm always casting here on Live the Battle, but you guys can find me over on Twitter at GameWithStorm. Would appreciate a follow. Do a lot of Overwatch stuff in the community every single week, ranging from smaller tournaments to bigger tournaments like this, where teams like Selfless and company have started to make their name in the past. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. It was a blast to be able to cast this.
And you can find my stuff on Twitter and Twitch /AskJoshi. I'm a full-time streamer, so every bit of support really adds up for me and allows me to continue doing this for a living. So thank you so much. We had, I believe, 25,000 people at the end of that last game. So really, really strong performance from all the teams that played. Of course, congratulations to our top 4. That's going to be Rogue, EnVyUs, Selfless, and LG Evil. Big thanks to the other 12 teams who battled it out here for us this weekend. Good luck in future events. But that honestly is going to wrap things up. Make sure you guys enter the giveaways, as they will be concluding very shortly. That's ! Giveaway and ! Giveaway 2 in the chat. Make sure you're entered so you can win some sweet prizes from our sponsors. But that's it. Any last words, Joe, before we close the show?
Nope. It was a pleasure to cast this, guys, and hope to see you guys back next time.
All right, guys, take it easy. Good luck in your competitive games. Until we see you again, that's it for the Rivalcade Overwatch Rumble.